Buckle up. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, live from Minnesota's biggest microphone, here's Jason DeRUSH.
You know, we're coming in hot. We are coming in hot on this Monday, February 9th. What is the best pizza in Minnesota? I need your input because Blois Olson has thwarted my whole plan for this broadcast. It's drive time. Jason here. I love pizza. Pizza is maybe the ideal food. I had pizza Saturday night. I'm going to have pizza again tonight. Today is National Pizza Day. And I want to know the best pizza in Minnesota. 651-461-9226. Because, you know, you've heard everybody's Super Bowl take at this point, right? You know that, like, the ding-dongs are, like, pretending to still be mad about Bad Bunny. Your group chat has gone silent with the arguments about ads, although we'll get a couple of advertising experts for you coming up at 4:30. But I just thought some pizza talk would be good because we have disagreement in the DeRUSH family on pizza. And I am the only correct one. I prefer square cut pizza. I want it to be square cut. And my children want a triangle cut. My wife eats pizza with a fork and knife, which is downright Trumpian. It's offensive to all. Dan, I considered divorce, you know?
I mean, you have to, really, at that point.
She puts up with a lot. But for me to put up with the indignity of her sitting there with a knife and a fork, would you, 651-461-9226, would you go into marital counseling at the least if your spouse ate pizza with a fork?
I mean, it couldn't hurt, right?
It's
worth a conversation.
So here's how Blois messed with me today. Blois just released. Now, Blois is not a food writer. He's not a food critic. He's just a guy
who likes making lists.
And he has created the authoritative pizza list, which is hilarious because on what authority? Unclear. But proving that anybody can say anything they want. Blois named Mama's Pizza in St. Paul, my town, number one. Now, part of why I wanted to talk about this today is that I had a fascinating kind of coming together of the latest technology in the world, AI. Everybody's obsessed and interested and scared and all of the things about AI. This weekend on my DeRUSH Eats X account, I posted, and if you're watching on YouTube or watching on X or watching on Facebook, you can see this photo or just follow me at DeRUSH Eats. I posted this picture. Can you guess which pizza place this is from? And the clues are square cut pizza, lots of cheese, looks pretty thin cut, and pretty saucy. So one of my social media followers, MNWX guy, Minnesota weather guy, asks Grok. Is it Grok? Grok?
Pretty sure it's Grok.
I think it's Grok. Grok, where did DeRUSH J like to eat pizza at? And then here comes the AI. Grok says Jason DeRUSH has praised several Minnesota pizza spots over the years.
That's pretty good.
Including Black Sheep Pizza, Pizzeria Lola, Hello Pizza, Punch Pizza, and Good Times for Tavern Style. That photo looks like Sausage Tavern Style, maybe from Good Times. So first of all, like, that is true. Like, all of that is true.
It's a heck of a breakdown.
It's pretty good. Like, I have praised and written about all of those pizza places. So Weather Guy's like, I don't know. It looks like it could have come from several. And then Grok is like, yeah, it's tricky. The chunky sausage and square cuts scream red Savoy to me. Or maybe Carbonis. You're like, it's amazing, isn't it? Am I stupid for being amazed by that? I'm sort of amazed by it. And then I said that the clue is that I've moved to St. Paul. And then the AI says Mama's Pizza. And it's Mama's Pizza. Now, I mean, it's sort of amazing. I think it's amazing. Maybe you guys don't think that's amazing. I think considering like how much stuff I've written about pizza over the years, for the AI created by Elon Musk and the Twitter team to narrow down based on a photo and the St. Paul clue, pretty good.
Nailed it.
Pretty good. Mama's Pizza, by the way, excellent. Excellent. Lots of texts coming in with your favorite pizza. Jason, you're the one that needs counseling, not your wife. Well, accurate.
I mean, they both can be true.
I could probably use some psychological help, you know? But, like, she's the one with the weird kind of fork and knife for pizza is weird. Emily on YouTube says her number one pizza is Neapolitan. Neapolitan, it's Punch. Punch pizza is, I think people forget how good Punch pizza is because it's been so good for so long. Now, if you don't like Neapolitan pizza, like it can be a little wet, I would say you can order it a little more cooked, and then it's not wet in the middle. But I love it. I love it. Benjamin says Carbonis in Highland Park. Best pizza there is. Carbonis, that's the OG Carbonis.
Yeah.
Very good.
Carbonis is excellent.
Is there good pizza in Woodbury? Phil is in Woodbury. Phil, do you guys have good pizza in that side of town?
Well, Jay, how you doing? But as far as pizza goes, you know, some pizza sauces upset my stomach. You know, I don't know about other people out there.
I didn't know you had a delicate constitution, Phil.
Well, you know, I mean, it goes in fine, but it doesn't. It's not very happy when.
Yeah.
I don't want to go there.
Understood.
Yeah, we get it, Phil. We get it.
So the best place for pizza that I think is what is it? It's up there by Smith and Dodd. It's called the Pizza Shop.
Oh yeah, Pizza Shop.
Oh my God, that guy! You get a super. It's like a super. You know, it's like an F-350 Super Duty. You know, but it's a pizza, and you get a $30 pizza for $20. I mean, you can't go wrong.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
And if you tell them a little well done on top, man, you get no wetness on the bottom. It's nice and firm, and I mean, if you like eating real pizza, this is the place to go.
I like it. That's a good tip. That's in West St. Paul, right? The Pizza Shop?
Yep, it's called the Pizza Shop. I even got the number in my head.
That's. Thanks, Phil.
You guys want the number?
Yeah, lay it on me.
All right, it's 651.
Yeah.
457-0777.
Very good. Yeah.
And they don't deliver. That's how good they are.
I like it. Go pick it up your dang self, you know? Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Phil. Dan, do you have a favorite pizza? I know Dan often, when I get into work, is eating a slice of pizza.
So here's the thing.
Okay.
You know, and I've discussed this many times on the show, that I have the palate of a 12-year-old.
It's true.
Pizza, burgers, chicken fingers.
That's like most of America.
That's 90% of my diet.
You're a great patriot.
And 90 might be being generous. It might be higher than that. So pizza, there was a doctor visit when I was a child because all I wanted was pizza, and my mother was concerned and asked the doctor about my diet, eating pizza, and the doc's like, you know, there's worse stuff he could have. And my mom's like, you don't understand. If they made pizza O's for breakfast, that's all this kid would eat. And she really wasn't that far wrong.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you know, as you get into college, you discover cold pizza for breakfast, and I was pretty much set. Pizza has long been my favorite food. It's not close. It's the perfect food. I can eat square cut. I can eat triangle cut. I can eat, like Chad, loves to rip on deep dish. I don't mind a deep dish occasionally.
Yeah.
Not my favorite. But if I have to pick a preference, it's New York style, the big foldable slices.
Yeah.
And there's a place in downtown Minneapolis called Ginelli's. It is in the DeLuxe building, it wasn't formerly the Baker building. What was it before it was DeLuxe? Was it TCF?
Yeah.
It's
It
the
was
red
TCF.
brick building,
That's right.
8th Street and 2nd Avenue in the Skyway level. Ginelli's, great New York foldable slice pizza. Cannot go wrong. It's easily my favorite, and it's not close.
It's very good.
It's excellent.
It takes true discipline for me to make sure I keep walking by there. It's very, very good. Lots of text coming in. This is very good. Texter surprised I'm not promoting Angino's Pizza in Maple Grove. That's a good one.
I eat there. It's my dad's favorite.
Your dad's favorite
So
is
when I go and meet my
Angino's.
folks for pizza in Maple Grove, we always go to Angino's.
Is that how it is, Angino's?
We go back and forth. Sometimes we call it Angino's. Sometimes we call it
I have
Angino's.
no idea. Yeah.
But it's excellent. Yep. Right next to El Rodeo.
That's right. One of my
places.
favorites. Keep the text coming. One texter saying that I think this is the first time we're talking about a different subject at this hour versus ice and politics and everything else. Thank God I love pizza. I thought I could give you a little treat. Little treat.
If you don't love pizza, you probably should be deported. How's that for a time?
Drive time back in just a minute.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
You know what's good on a pizza? Bacon, sausage, pork belly. Sure, why not? Minnesota pork. Put flavor on the table, my friends. It's Jason here for my great supporters, great partners here at WCCO Radio, the Minnesota Pork Board, 3,000 family farmers. We're so grateful for this agriculture community, all they do to take care of their people, take care of their animals, and take care of the planet, too. Next generation taking over so many of our pig farms in Minnesota, and they're doing it right. What I love about Minnesota pork more than anything else is the flavor. Oh, my goodness. So rich in flavor, lean, high in protein, and very versatile. If you're looking, maybe you're going to have pizza tonight after this conversation. But if you're looking to make dinner, I suggest going to the website, tastewhatporkcando.com. Put flavor on the table. Go to your grocery store. Go to your butcher shop. And let's have Minnesota pork for dinner tonight. Oh, yeah.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. A robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Please call into the Jason DeRusha Show.
Let's go.
If you have something to say to the people of Minnesota, say it on the radio.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Oh, so many good pizza texts coming in. Another good St. Paul pizza, Casetas. Angelo's Pizza is the best in South St. Paul. Sammy's Pizza in Hibbing. 3 places in St. Paul, says a texter. Italian Pie Shop on Grand. Oh, that's a good one. Is there a Doge Pizza? D-O-G-E? Yeah. Doge Pizza. Look at that on Aldine in St. Paul. Huh. It looks like it's somebody's house. Doge Pizza.
How many times do you think they heard that joke?
Yeah. Checkerboard and Snelling has fallen a bit, but their sausage is still good. Dominic's on my way home from the airport, says a texter. Parkway Pizza, Broadway. Cassetta sausage is the best. Oh, man, I had meatballs at the Super Bowl party last night that were made from Italian sausage from Cassetta. Oh. Eden Prairie says there's no good pizza. Northern Fires Pizza at 42nd and Cedar. That one is very good. Mike is in Woodbury. Mike,
hello, Jason.
Thanks for calling. What's your favorite pizza? Best pizza in Minnesota?
Well, it's in Woodbury and everything, and it's just within approximately 2.5 miles from my home. It's been around for many years, called Rinaldi's.
I knew it. I knew you were going to go Rinaldi's. That is an excellent pie. An excellent
Yes.
pie.
I mean, that's a mom and pop pizza that's been in their family for almost 4 decades now, or I think longer than that.
I think I did a story on these guys because it's back when I was on TV. It's Woodbury's oldest restaurant. Yes, in
Yep, it is.
2018, I did a story.
I mean, the pizza is so good. The sauce and everything is just genuinely authentic and nice and red and everything. It pairs up well with like red wines like Pinot Noir. I mean, talk about absolute authenticity. And they've done it for many years at Rinaldi's in Woodbury. And they're still going strong after all these years.
There is something, Mike, about the neighborhood hometown pizza place. Like, everybody's got it. Everybody's got one. They support the softball teams. They sponsor the Little League. There is something about that kind of special connection that those restaurants have, I think.
And they've been very supportive and co-sponsors for years for a lot of events in Woodbury, like the Woodbury Days, and they've even now served the slices of pizza during the Woodbury Days celebration in August. And tell you, I mean, people keep coming back repeatedly for more. I mean, it's just been, I was told that a lot of famous stars have ordered pizza there whenever they were in town. And it's really, I mean, just quite phenomenal that Woodbury is very fortunate to have a mom and pop pizza.
Yes.
I mean, running strong since the mid 70s at least.
Yeah, before Woodbury was a thing. Thanks, Mike. Very good. Texter says, a pizza pub in Pine City, Minnesota, square cut. They got a Crybaby pizza and pub special. That's pretty good. Now, this texter, Dan, have you ever had pizza from Casey's, from the gas station?
No.
So Alyssa and I have some friends back when I had COVID. It was around Christmas time, and my friends, Ann Catherine and John, sent breakfast pizza from Casey's and had it like delivered to my front porch. And the Casey's breakfast pizza is very good. It's very good. Punch pizza. Costco underrated, says Josh. Costco pizza is, I find it's like a little doughier than I want, but I think it's pretty good. It's pretty good. Polly Eyes pizza in Mankato. Yeah, that one is legendary. Polly Eyes pizza.
Is that the one everybody would go when the Vikings training camp was down there?
Yes,
That was where everybody
absolutely.
started.
Yeah. Texter is asking. Another texter. Mama's Pizza, best in the world. I've known that for over 50 years. It's true.
I wonder if that's Mama.
So when I went to Mama's, they're only doing takeout right now. So it's just so good. The crust was crunchy, but not like too thin. So it still like supported all the cheese that was on it. And the owner there, Tony was in there making my pizza.
I get the vibe you would rather do takeout than have a delivery.
Yeah, I never get anything delivered. It's not my.
You want to be there. You want to chat up the owner.
I need a moment.
Talk to the guy cooking it.
How's it going? I need like some intel.
Yeah.
Like, how are things going? How's business?
Yeah.
what's going on in the neighborhood.
Sure.
The text line is blowing up. Rocco's in West St. Paul. OG Zaza. OG's very good. Pig ate my pizza. Underrated. I think.
And Robbinsdale's pretty good, yeah.
I think Pig was hot when it was brand new, and I think their pizzas. They have a pizza that's the closest to the Pizza Hut pizza of my childhood.
Mm.
You remember, like, Pizza Hut had this thing, like, if you read enough books,
Yes.
like, you could go get a free personal pan.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a market for, like, Mama's doesn't have their dining room open. So they're just cranking out takeout.
Come and get it and get out.
Punch Pizza, there's so much takeout. Like, when you dine in, they want you to order ahead on the app so you get in the queue. Because you look at the dining room and you're like,
there's nobody here, but
doesn't
they're
look
so
that
busy
busy.
cranking out this
Correct.
row. Yeah.
it's very, very different. I do think, like, pizza's funny, right? Like, we've got textures saying Bimbo's Pizza north of Hibbing, which you probably like that just for the name.
Sure. Memorable.
Pizza Factory in Big Lake, Pizza Supreme in Savage, El Mar. El Mar, you like a New York slice.
Yes.
Have you had the El Mar?
I have not.
So that is pretty authentic
Okay.
New York slice. I think you would like that one. It's foldable. It's a little, I would say it's a little crispier than what you get in New York, but usually in New York you get a crunch and then a little, not a lot of softness, but a little bit.
Right.
I like a crunch. I don't know. Texture. Lots of El Mar text. Dutello's in Eden Prairie. Rocky Rococo in Brooklyn Park. Tasty Pizza, Columbia Heights. That Tasty Pizza, that is right up Central, right on 65.
Okay.
And that is severely underrated. Very good pizza. I think every day we could just turn this show over to Pizza Talk.
You get no argument from me.
Pizza Luce, says Emily. So much good.
Boyce did have in his authoritative list, and I think it was fairly high. It was like number 4, Devani's.
Well, he worked at Devani's as a kid.
And I think that's the Devani story, because we had Devani's people in on
Yes.
DeRUSH Eats. The Devani story, I think, not that the pizza's bad or anything, but I think it brings it up a notch when you understand the story of that company and who's all involved.
So true.
Yeah.
His list was Mama's number 1, El Mar's number 2, Sammy's number 3. Sammy's has like the corn meal, like the little yellow kind of stuff
Yeah.
at the bottom. I do like that. That's controversial. Devani's, Punch. I don't know Maggie's. A texter said Maggie's too. I have no idea what Maggie's Pizza is. Love Pizza, which they closed, Blois. Love Pizza is only doing frozen pizza. How is number 7 a place that you can't even go to? Golden Valley.
No credibility.
This is why you shouldn't take your pizza. Although I can't even rip on his pizza list. It's pretty good. Renali's is on there, number 9, and Rosalia. That's where I'll be going tonight in St. Louis Park. 3:31. Let's break in just a minute. Pretty incredible story. You know, right now, a lot of us are watching the Olympics. Amazing athletes, amazing perseverance. But we're going to talk with a local guy who is going to take part in a marathon in Tokyo. How do you even get into a thing like that? We'll talk about it in just a minute. Drive Time. Continuing on a Monday here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Big red checks. Big red checks. That is what Chris Lindahl is handing out as he's hanging out in Minnesota. It's Jason here from my friend Chris Lindahl. People ask me all the time, they're like, do you really know Chris Lindahl? I'm like, yeah, I could text him right now. You don't trust me? You don't trust me. How dare you? And then usually I give him the finger and walk away. That's how it goes. Don't question my integrity. Anyway, I bring this up to tell you that I do know Chris Lindahl. I've known him for, 8 years now. Chris helped Alyssa and I when we were looking at condos a couple years ago. He's a great guy. Minnesotan, Mankato guy. He's had some Poly Ice pizza when he was in college down there at Mankato. Big red checks. He's handed out big red checks because more and more people are finding that the guaranteed cash offer, arms wide out, guaranteed cash offer, No, you don't have to fix up your house. Just boom, here's some money. You're done. More and more people are saying, you know what, the open market, the housing market right now is nuts. I don't want to deal with it. See if it's good for you. ChrisLindahl.com. Say yes, and he'll bring you a big red check, too.
Introducing the WCCO Fan Starter Pack. Everything you need to blend in with real Minnesotans who've already mastered the art of listening to and loving WCCO. You'll get an imaginary magical station mug that refills itself every time the Twins score.
Here comes Byron Buxton. He will round. He will score!
A pocket-sized field guide to speaking Minnesotan.
You betcha.
And a limited edition Vanita Sakar alarm clock that wakes you up with...
Good morning, good neighbor. I'm Vanita Sakar.
Still not enough? We'll throw in a Jason DeRUSH bobblehead that judges your brunch choices. The News Talk 830 WCCO Fan Starter Pack. Get yours today. Or just tune in. That works too.
Hey, wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind. Like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. Yikes! So you're on your own with the wasps. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its Prediabetes Awareness Partners.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Starting to look like a medical situation. Probably 10 westbound near Foley Boulevard. Get some flashing lights and activity off to the right shoulder, so use caution through the area. Make sure you can move over a lane if at all possible. Traveling 35W northbound, not bad there. Highway 36 heading up to Highway 10. North 169 flowing nicely as moved between Cedar Lake Road and 694, 94, and 94 westbound. Minor slowdowns past 494 Maple Grove. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time. Let's say thank you to Gutman Law, Wills Trust and Probate at gutmanlaw.com, and check in with Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
There's some light mixed precipitation in the area. That will move out. Cloudy tonight, 28 the overnight low. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, a high of 35. That's still running about 9 degrees above average. But it's going to feel cooler. The wind picking up from the northwest, 10 to 15, will make it feel like the 20s throughout the day. Sunshine, light wind Wednesday with a high of 36. We could see some light snow on Thursday.
Right now, it is pretty warm out there, 39 degrees. Cloudy, though, here on CCO.
Where curiosity hits the gas. Drive time with DeRusha on News Talk 830 WCCO.
I've been throw up the sex in a and I can put you in.
All right, the idea of running a marathon to me is just straight up lunacy. Absolutely 0% interest. I would die. I mean, let's be serious. Running is not my thing, but I do find great admiration and inspiration from people who can do it, and then people who are become so active in marathons, and they end up raising tons of money and all of that. So when Gary Mayeux reached out to me and said, hey, my wife and I got to enter the Tokyo Marathon. I was like, well, I don't even know how you would be able to do that. So let's talk about it. Gary is with us along with Andrea on the John Schuster Coldwell Banker Hotline. Hi, guys. How are you?
Hey, Jason. Thanks so much for having us.
Yeah, we're doing well. We're getting into training, so getting out there, running a lot, and getting prepared for the race.
When is the Tokyo Marathon?
March 1st.
March 1st.
Yes.
And so, Andrea, you guys, how many marathons have you run?
I have run 24 marathons.
And Gary, you?
I've run 5.
Pretty lame, huh?
Yeah, I know. Every time I say to somebody I've only run 5, they're like, only. And I was like, well, my context is a little skewed. So you should see our medal collection downstairs. Mine looks so pathetic next to hers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know where you stand, at least. I think that's useful, right?
Yep.
So explain, Andrea, how did you guys get into the Tokyo Marathon? Because that is not, it's not like you can, run a qualifying marathon here in, Minneapolis, for example, to get into Tokyo, can you?
No, and you normally have to enter a lottery open to the general public. And Tokyo Marathon is part of the world majors, 6, well now 7, of some of the biggest marathons around the world. And so it's very popular. And it's also the hardest one to get into because a lot of, obviously, like Japanese people get the first priority. So the rest of the bibs open to the open lottery, very small percentage. Now, the other way you can enter a lot of these races is to raise money with a charity, and the charity gets bibs to give to people to basically raise dollars for their mission. And so that's how we were able to get into Tokyo Marathon with Brave Like Gabe charity. And do you want to take over this part?
So we both ran in different years with the New York Marathon, which is the only world major they had previously had bibs. I ran 2024 and Andrea in 2021. And this is the first year they're trying to expand to other world majors. So they had Berlin last year was their first year, and this year is their first year with Tokyo. So we are part of their first Tokyo team. There's 3 of us. There's another woman who's from Minneapolis originally, but now lives on the East Coast. And each of the 3 of us have to raise $5,000 for Brave Like Gabe. And all of that essentially goes to rare cancer research. So Gabe, or Gabrielle Grunwald, was a professional runner and a runner at the University of Minnesota who ultimately died in 2019 of a rare cancer. And the foundation raises money purely to go towards different kinds of rare cancer research. And it's kind of a foundation we've grown very fond of and worked with, obviously, in the past and love to continue to work with.
That is Gary Mayeux and Andrea are running for Brave Like Gabe. And this foundation is unbelievable. And you guys have raised money for them before. But sort of explain a little bit more about the work that they're doing to sort of try to find cures to rare cancers.
Yeah, I think if you go to their website, you can see more about, kind of dive into some of the grants that they provide, not only to organizations that helped Gabe through some trials, helping her try to find, a cure to her cancer, but also to individual researchers. There's some profiles online. You can see where they're giving grants to. So that helps come up with new therapies or be able to try new approaches to these rare cancer researches and research. And I think the big problem that Gabe saw and felt, and this became our mission, is that, like, you think about the bigger cancer foundations and they have so much visibility. And, there are more people who tend to have those cancers, but she fought hard to create awareness for these rare cancers that affect so many people as well.
That is Andrea. We've got Gary, and you guys only have about 21 or so days. Like, this is March 1st, so the clock's ticking on this thing, right? How's the fundraiser going?
It's going pretty well. So having raised money already for this foundation with the New York marathons, I kind of feel like we had asked a lot of our inner circle for quite a bit. So it was a little slow going at first, but momentum's kind of picking up. And any help we can get at all is just absolutely great. Even if you come to my Instagram page and just give us a thumbs up, that's cool too. We love doing this kind of thing and being able to spread the message of Brave Like Gabe and spread the fact that that even exists to people, because even if they don't donate to this particular marathon, the more that this foundation's name is spread, I think the better it'll help long-term, just to help with this kind of cause.
And I also want to add that, not only do they support scientific research, but they support people who are actively living with the same cancer that Gabe had. Gary ran with people in New York who were going through cancer treatment, or had just recovered, or to caregivers or family members who have passed or have been living with this disease. So supporting us also supports people who are going through it and may want to run some of these marathons someday. So I think that's a part that people don't really see too much too, is that it's supporting the people staying active who are living with rare cancers.
If people go to Tabasco Doctor on Instagram, that is Gary's page, and the link to the fundraiser is right there. That'd be the best way to do it. But just everybody's cheering for you. How do you train for a marathon in the Minnesota winter?
Well, that's a good question, because all this ice this year has been particularly challenging, to the point where I think it led to a stress fracture that I am kind of dealing with right now. So it's been a little challenging. Andrea's smarter than me and trains on the treadmill mostly, but it can be definitely challenging.
Yeah, stay off the ice, Gary. Come on.
That's where I'm the seasoned vet, so kind of okay, you gotta watch yourself in the snow and the ice. So it can be hard, but you know what? You see plenty of people out there running, and you know that they're training for spring races too. So
My favorite Scandinavian saying is, "There's no such thing as bad weather, just bad gear." So try to stick to that.
We know that's not true, though. There is bad weather, but the gear makes a difference for sure. Well, I'm just happy to support you guys and spread the word because Brave Like Gabe is such a great nonprofit, and you guys could sell cookies or something. You don't have to run a marathon to raise money. There are easier ways to do. What is it about the marathon run, Andrea, that really kind of gets you going?
I don't know. It's actually funny, because once you get to marathon day, you're actually sad, because it means that the whole cycle is over. And I think it's just once you get to mid-cycle, I mean, you're getting to that point where your legs are tired and motivation can be tough to get out the door. But in the middle of when you're running, you just feel so good, and I don't know, you just find that flow state a lot of times. And once you complete a marathon, it's hard not to get hooked because of the emotions. You're surrounded by people who have put in the time and are out there suffering like you, and you cross that finish line and you completed something so special. I don't know, that feeling, endorphins or whatever it is. I don't know. For me, I keep coming back. So.
And I've tried just about a little bit of everything: long distance cycling, powerlifting, bodybuilding a little bit, and I've never found a community that is more supportive and just more fun to be around, to commiserate maybe on what we're doing than the running community has been.
Cool. Really good. Thank you guys for spending some time with us. We appreciate it. Good luck in Tokyo, and I hope you raise a ton of money for the foundation.
Thank you so much.
Gary and Andrea Mayeux, there they go. Crazy people. But pretty cool. Let's break in a minute. We are going to talk about the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny, which I love the show. Do you wish that there were subtitles on the screen? 651-461-9226. It was a thought I had. I want to know what you think about that. We'll talk about it when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, it's Jason here for my friends at Livia Weight Control Centers, and oh my goodness, I am so excited to talk to you about everything that they have going on right now. They have got a fantastic offer. a fantastic offer that just started. They're making it easier to get started with a limited time buy one, get one free on GLP-1 weight loss medications. Livia just always trying to find the best way to get you to the results that you deserve. And at Livia, it's more than a prescription. People think you can just get your prescription and be good to go. No. At Livia, they want you to lose the weight and they want you to keep it off for good. You are going to get a personalized plan, medically guided weight loss, award-winning nutrition starting at just $17 a week, and one-on-one support from your local medical and nutrition team. You pick the path. You do it with Livia. Maybe you aren't interested in GLP-1s. No problem. I lost 45 pounds on a nutrition-only approach, and Livia can get you where you need to be too. Maybe GLP-1s are perfect for you. They've got you covered. Livia gives you everything you need all in one place. So do not miss this. This is limited time BOGO offer on GLP-1 weight loss medication. Get to 855-GO-LIVIA or visit Livia, LIVEA.com to schedule your free consultation today.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like payroll manager.
Hi, my last paycheck was all in Icelandic krona.
You are welcome.
Welcome?
Given the exchange rate between the dollar and the krona, you're technically a millionaire now. Don't spend it all in one place.
I can't really spend it anywhere.
There's always Iceland.
This is the job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. You know, the big wireless companies say they have discounts for people over 55. But unless you're willing to sit on hold and ask, you're probably paying more than you should. At Consumer Cellular, there's nothing to hunt down. We're built for people 50 plus with plans starting at just $20. And our 100% US-based customer service actually answers the phone. Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com today and get your second month free for a limited time.
Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Getting word of a crash for 94 southbound as make way past Highway 55. I can see the slowdown. Still looking for the crash itself, but it is already slow through that stretch as you head down to the Laurel Tunnel. North 169, seeing your slowdowns there, Highway 7 to Highway 55. Over on the East Metro, 35E northbound, some congestion past Wheelock Parkway to Highway 36. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, CCO forecast time, and we're in like the melting cycle, aren't we? Light mix, possible early. Cloudy night, only down to 28. Tomorrow, 35. Be a little breezy. Wednesday, 36, mostly sunny. Light snow possible on Thursday, but enjoy it right now. It is 38 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
Another texter, Jason, quit being such an ass. I will not. I will not.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Baby anda jugado y yo quiero que tú me respondas. Agárralo como bonga, se metió una, se la pone cachonda.
Would you have enjoyed the Bad Bunny show more if they had subtitles in English on the screen? I've gone on a journey on this topic since I was watching the show, and last night I was talking about it with our group. There were 6 of us over at our house. We all liked it. I thought it was incredibly joyous. I thought from a visual standpoint, it was the coolest live television production I think I've ever seen. The camera work, the cinematography, having the camera at the top of that light pole when he climbed up the pole and then looked up. Oh, my. I wish I knew what he was singing about. I wish I knew what he was singing about. Now, maybe that was the point, that there are Americans in Puerto Rico who speak Spanish as their native language. And so perhaps the idea is that, I don't know, like I should go learn Spanish. Like, I think generally speaking, when you're trying to communicate, it is helpful if people know what you're talking about. Now, you could argue that there are plenty of English-speaking singers that you also do not know what they're talking about. So maybe that's fair. I think that I would have enjoyed it more. Did it detract from my enjoyment? A little bit, because I didn't know what was going on. Now, I bring this up to you in a spirit of vulnerability, because
you know what's coming.
Well, I'm either going to get like, you're racist, or why do you hate? I don't know. Now, a lot of texters are saying, now I've seen some of this, and I in fairness, I haven't looked into it. Because I've seen some people kind of saying like, oh, this is like, it's an FCC violation. Like if
there's at least 3 different translations I've seen of what some of the lyrics were floating around the internet.
Okay.
So if you believe any of them.
But I don't know, like, is this true or not?
I have no idea.
Right. Also, like, spoiler alert, almost every song in English is about sex and is a little bit inappropriate. So spare your...
Sabrina Carpenter's made an entire career out of it. So.
Correct. Texter says, I don't understand what they're singing at the opera either. It's about the imagery and artistry. But the opera usually has live translation on a screen above or below. But I've been to the opera, and there are translations of it.
This will shock you. I have not been to the opera, so I will take your word on that one. I wouldn't necessarily have enjoyed it more with subtitles, because my enjoyment of the halftime show was more about vibes.
It was.
Because that was such a different presentation. That was such a different performance than what we're used to getting. If you think to the Tom Petty's and the Bruce Springsteens and, you know, the bands that just were out there on stage playing the hits, and there was other stuff going on, but it was really a band on a stage playing the hits. This was none of that, right? This was him being all over the place. My only disappointment was in different scenes, and like you said, the cinematography of it was different. It was just, there was a vibe thing going on with this that you're not used to seeing. There was this celebration of culture that we're not used to seeing in that kind of performance, and I enjoyed it just on that level. So what specifically he was saying, almost to me, didn't matter. So I don't know that the subtitles would have done a whole lot for me. The one thing that I was expecting that I didn't see was more big-time guest appearances, right? We got the Lady Gaga, you got Ricky Martin, Pedro Pascal was amongst the dancers at one point. So there was folks there, but I thought, given the pre-pushback that he was getting, that he'd trot out some recognizable names to maybe fend off some of that, or more recognizable names. Obviously, there were some there.
Right.
But I thought there would be even more, and there'd be
more
even bigger
special
names
guests
just to try and fend some of that off. So
Todd says, I was thinking the same thing, Jason, but looking back at it now for how cool the set design was and how everything really flowed, reading subtitles might have distracted from the visual aspect of it.
Very fair opinion.
I believe there was a translation on the Jumbotron at the stadium. There was not. It was... There was a part of it where his lyrics were on there, and occasionally an English word would pop up, but it mostly was the Spanish words.
And then they had the big sign at the end, right, about hate
that
and love
part, yes. Yeah. Jason, this is a no-brainer. He's performing to a largely English audience. If you want to convey a message, why not do subtitles? It's interesting. Like, the reason that I go back and forth on this is because the idea of doing subtitles, does it sort of say, like, my Spanish language is not good enough? Like, to really be speaking to America, I should speak English. But Spanish is the native language in Puerto Rico, which is American.
Yeah.
So I could see where, like, all right, it had to be an intentional choice to not you would think there was some discussion of it, right? Because the vast majority of the audience speaks English. Another texter says, Jason, the halftime show wasn't for you or for other Americans. It was for the 2 billion followers of Bad Bunny. I mean, no doubt. And they still would get it. I just think it would be a little better with, and I loved it. Like, I'm coming at this from love. I love the halftime show. A couple did get married for me. Who's against marriage? Not me. Not me. Drive time, back in a minute.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-700-6898. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. Call 800-700-6898 or biglou.com.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Want to make the most of your tax refund? File with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it. With a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Streaming live via the Odyssey and iHeartRadio apps. This is News Talk 830 WCCO, 1029 HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. There was believed to have been a deadline today in the case of Savannah Guthrie's missing mother. The Today Show host just posted an appeal to the public on social media, but made no mention of a deadline or a ransom. Wendy Gillette reports.
We are at an hour of desperation.
Anchor Savannah Guthrie looked stressed and held back tears as she spoke about her family's struggle more than a week after her 84-year-old mother, Nancy, disappeared.
We believe our mom is still out there.
Guthrie asked for help, saying anything that seems strange should be reported.
She was taken and we don't know where.
A $50,000 reward is being offered for information. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Some lawmakers were at the Justice Department today viewing unredacted Jeffrey Epstein files, among them Representative Jared Moskowitz of Florida.
I mean, it's disgusting. There are lots of names, lots of co-conspirators, and they're trafficking girls all across the world.
Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, invoked her Fifth Amendment rights today, refusing to answer questions from members of the House Oversight Committee. And Jake Rosen reports her attorney told lawmakers if President Trump ended her prison sentence, she would be willing to talk.
On his advice, Ghislaine Maxwell respectfully invokes her Fifth Amendment right to silence and declined to answer any questions today. And then it says later, if this committee and the American people truly want to hear the unfiltered truth about what happened, there is a straightforward path. Ms. Maxwell is prepared to speak fully and honestly if granted clemency by President Trump.
Maxwell is serving a 20-year sentence for sex trafficking. There does not appear to be a deal yet to keep the Department of Homeland Security funded past Friday. House Speaker Mike Johnson pushed back on Democrats' demands to unmask ICE officers and require judicial warrants for immigration arrests.
The idea that you would have a whole new layer of judicial warrant necessitated before you could apprehend and deport someone is not a workable standard, and I think they understand that. I think some of them that are proposing that don't want any apprehensions of illegals, and that's part of the problem.
Cuba says airlines can no longer refuel on the island as a U.S. blockade deepens its energy crisis. Air Canada says it's suspending service but sending empty planes to pick up 3,000 customers there. Eleanor Watson reports the U.S. has taken another oil tanker.
U.S. forces seized another oil tanker overnight, but this time in the Indian Ocean, after tracking it for weeks from the Caribbean. The Aquila is now the 8th oil tanker the Trump administration has interdicted as part of its quarantine on sanctioned vessels headed in and out of Venezuela.
On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher, the Dow up by 20 points. This is CBS News.
Follow and listen to CBS News Roundup on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice. Every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 38 degrees at 4:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Minnesota immigration attorneys touring the Whipple Federal Building today to examine conditions there and meet with their clients who are being held.
The Minneapolis nonprofit Advocates for Human Rights sued the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, claiming the conditions inside the facility are dire. And on Friday, a judge ruled that the attorneys would be allowed inside. Congresswoman Kelly Morrison recently visited the site and spoke afterward about what she saw.
People are sleeping on concrete floors. They don't have real blankets. They have those kind of tin foil temporary blankets.
A spokesperson for Advocates for Human Rights said the nonprofit will file declarations with the court by the end of the day tomorrow, outlining what they saw inside. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Former U.S. Attorney Andy Lugar warning of what he calls a Washington takeover of our local DOJ office.
Lugar says that Minnesota's federal prosecutor's office has shifted toward total control by the Trump administration, leading to an alarming rate of staff departures and a singular focus on national mandates like immigration over local concerns. He says that as federal resources pivot away from traditional priorities, things like gang activity may slip through the cracks.
You're not doing the big gang cases we did, and the gangs didn't disappear. You know, they're still out there, and my fear is they're sort of rebuilding during this time period. You're not doing the fraud cases that we desperately need done.
He says he's not sure how the local court system will manage the backlog of unaddressed criminal cases on top of the influx of new federal cases moving forward. Taylor Rivera, News Talk 830 WCCO.
State officials with an update on the first full month of Minnesota's new paid family and medical leave program. Department of Employment and Economic Development Deputy Commissioner Evan Rowe says most applicants are taking leave to bond with a child, followed by medical leave. He says while there have been no significant glitches so far, there's always room for improvement.
We want this program to be boring. We want this program to be that we want Minnesotans to be able to depend on this in their moments of need. And we are not going to stop continuing to make improvements so that both applicants and employers can have an excellent experience with the program.
Former Minnesota Republican gubernatorial candidate Dr. Scott Jensen isn't hiding how he feels about a racist video posted last week by President Donald Trump depicting former President Obama and his wife as apes.
I think it was disgusting. And I don't use the F word, but I would be willing to say I think it's effing disgusting. And this has got to stop.
Jensen announcing today he is ending his gubernatorial bid and instead will run for state auditor. Minnesota traffic fatalities dropping more than 20% over the last year. The Minnesota Department of Public Safety crediting some strategic investments and enforcement, adding that the ultimate goal remains zero. WCCO News Time is 4:06.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
On the quiet side for South 35E, Highway 62 all the way down to 35W. If you're going to be traveling South 35W, mind the slowdowns across the Minnesota River Bridge as you head toward Cliff Road. Cedar South looking good, though, as you come down from Highway 62 to Highway 13. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
With a well-designed will, trust, and estate plan, you can have peace of mind. Choose Matt Gutman of Gutman Law to give yourself peace of mind. Call him now, 612-895-1616 at gutmanlaw.com. Gutman Law, peace of mind today for tomorrow.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Gutman Law, wills, trusts, and probate law at gutmanlaw.com. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The light mixed precipitation in areas will clear out this evening, leaving us cloudy tonight. 28 the overnight low. Tomorrow's going to feel cooler. We could see some peaks of sunshine with a high of 35, but that darn wind is going to pick up from the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour, making it feel like the 20s. Sunshine Wednesday, mid-30s. Light snow possible Thursday. And this coming weekend, we're back in the 40s.
Cloudy right now, 38 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Where Minnesota checks in and finds its voice.
Long-time caller, first-time listener.
News Talk 830 WCCO. Good questions. Topics you'll probably talk about at dinner. Places to go for dinner. This is the Ride Home Reimagined. Welcome to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Now, here's Jason DeRUSH.
Lindsey Vonn is not like us. She's not like us. I'm glad she raced. I'm glad she went for it. And I'm surprised how controversial it's been that she went for it. Welcome to Drive Time. It's Jason. 651-461-9226. I think elite athletes are just built differently than you and I. And frankly, I think most of us could use a little bit of that hunger for victory, that desire to compete, that thrill of risking it all in order to do something remarkable. You know, I think we often turn sports into, the real thrill of sports is the fact that we can turn it into a metaphor for life and for challenges we face. And Lindsey Vonn, when I woke up on Sunday morning to the news that she had clipped her arm on one of those gates, and that was it. That she wiped out. She was being airlifted off. My immediate reaction was probably the same as most of yours. It was, oh my gosh, did her ACL injury, she shouldn't have been on that injured leg. Her injury had nothing to do with that. Her injury had to do with going for it, going all in. And she went all in. I don't know, it got me thinking about times in my life or times in your life maybe where you sort of pushed in your chips, You really went for it. If you've ever done that, 651-461-9226, that is what I was thinking. You've got, it was remarkable that she had that injury and then was willing to compete. And then to have it go so horribly wrong. When that happens, do you regret it? I tend to think that nobody ever regrets that. I mean, if she died, I guess you'd regret it. Well, maybe who knows? I don't know. Right? But do you ever regret really going for something? I think so many of us are afraid to go for it. We're afraid for what we might lose. I cannot think of a time in my life that someone who has really gone for something has said to me, you know what? Wish I didn't. Wish I played it safe. I don't know. Truly elite athletes are not so accident prone says a absolutely hilarious armchair texter. Like, come on.
Somebody who has no clue.
Like, give me a break.
Elite athletes. Yeah.
I mean, there is something, and one of the fun things about watching the Olympics, if you watched any of it, is that this year the International Olympic Committee has drone pilots flying drones behind these downhill skiers. And you see just how freaking fast they're going. It's madness. Like, I don't even have the courage to ski, period. Like, on a bunny hill. I'm not going down a ski hill. Never. But Lindsey Vonn is like, I'm 41. I tore my ACL. Now, here I am doing, like, squats and all the stuff in that video you saw from her. She did a test run the day before and came in third. So she is fine. As fine as one can be on a torn ACL.
But when you're skiing like that, you are right. You have to get right on the edge of this is either going to go really, really well or it's going to be a complete disaster.
That's right.
And the closer you can get to that edge, the more speed that you're going to get and the better results you're going to get, right? But you have to be willing to risk stumbling over that line, which she did then in her run, to be able to get close enough to the line to be an elite skier.
Right.
It's, race car drivers. Same kind of, you have to be able to push right to the edge of the thing in order to be able to win races. And sometimes, you get just a millimeter or two out of alignment, bam, you're in a wall and you're done.
Right.
That's part of that kind of high level competition. You ask about regrets. This isn't we've talked about this plenty before. Back in 2017, I felt a pull to go into ministry, and that led me to go to seminary and get a master's of divinity degree. I wouldn't say I regret that, but I would say, looking back, I had a big choice that I was trying to make there about taking on quite a bit of student loan debt in order to be able to do it, and it hasn't gone how I wished it would have gone when I walked into that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know that I would say I regret it.
Not a full regret.
But I'm also in this nebulous world of, not having to pay back full freight on the student loan just yet. There may be a regret point coming when that finally hits.
Right.
But it hasn't worked out the way that I had hoped it would. And who knows? I leave it in God's hands. There may be a job coming in the very near future. I don't know. But I'm not where I thought I was going to be as I stand here with you right now when I started that journey. So went for it. I really, really debated going for it.
Yeah.
And I did end up deciding to go for it. And again, I don't regret. The process itself was great. I'm just standing here now without a job and with a big bill looming. So,
yeah, that is a hard thing, right? Like, I'm not glad that happened to you, but I'm glad you brought it up, because there are times that when you go for it, there's also a real personal cost.
Yeah.
And so if it doesn't work out, now Lindsey Vonn in the last 29 minutes posted on her Instagram feed. And man, just imagine her scenario. And then here's the post. Yesterday, my Olympic dream did not finish the way I dreamt it would. It wasn't a storybook ending or a fairy tale. It was just life. I dared to dream and have worked so hard to achieve it, because in downhill ski racing, the difference between a strategic line and a catastrophic injury can be as small as 5 inches. I was simply 5 inches too tight on my line when my right arm hooked inside of the gate, twisting me, and resulted in my crash. My ACL and past injuries had nothing to do with it. She's going to have multiple surgeries. And she said, despite the intense physical pain it caused, I have no regrets. Standing in the starting gate yesterday was an incredible feeling that I will never forget. Knowing I stood there having a chance to win was a victory in and of itself. I also knew that racing was a risk. It always was and always will be an incredibly dangerous sport. Similar to ski racing, we take risks in life. We dream, we love, we jump. And sometimes we fall. Sometimes our hearts are broken. Sometimes we don't achieve the dreams we know we could have. But that is also the beauty of life. We can try. I tried. I dreamt. I jumped. I hope if you take away anything from my journey, it's that you all Have the courage to dare greatly. Life is too short not to take chances on yourself, because the only failure in life is not trying. How about that? Now, a lot of people were responding to my social media post saying that Lindsey Vonn is just an attention kind of vampire, where she just is so desperate. And I would say that if that's your take, I think that you don't understand what striving for excellence is about. Because striving for excellence does mean you have to take risks, and you likely will fail. You likely will fail. I do think we have this idea that we don't have to fail. We don't have to do the hard stuff. We don't have to lose. But if you're going to do something big, you do have to fail. Part of the equation. I was at breakfast today with a guy that was talking about venture capitalists. And so when you're investing in startup companies, that these guys come at it from, they'll invest in 10 companies. They know 7 are going to fail. 2 might be and you hope that 1 hits it. And it's a different kind of person that can take 10 shots knowing that 7 are going to absolutely shank. And I think Lindsey is that kind of deal. I think that's kind of deal. 418. If you want to chime in, you're welcome. It's 651-461-9226. Drive Time. Back in a minute here on CCO.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, I want you to look your best when you're going all in, when you're taking that risk, when you're pushing the chips in and you're saying, we're going for it. And the best way to do that is to get to J.H. & Sons at the Galleria in Edina. It's Jason for my friends at J.H. & Sons. And if you go over their webpage right now, you can join their mailing list. And I know you're like, do I need another email? I'll tell you, they are not going to take advantage of the access to your email inbox. And they are going to tell you about new arrivals. So right now, oh, man, so much new spring stuff showing up. If you haven't been to J.H. & Sons, or even if you have been over the last couple of months, it's time to get back into that store, because spring is here, at least in the store. You want to learn about sales, exclusive offers, special events, all of that for you on the website. Now, why do you want to go to J.H. & Sons as opposed to somewhere else? Service, people, relationships. That's what it is. It's incredible people who know men's clothing. Most of the people who work at J.H. & Sons have been doing this for multiple decades here in Minnesota. And they have the relationships to not only make sure something looks great on you, fits great on you, but they can be your guy or your gal. You've got an expert. When you need something, you text them. When you go to the store, they're there to bring you things that are going to make you feel good and look good. So go to the experts. Go to my experts. They're at the Galleria in Edina. So easy to get to. Say hi to my friends at J.H. & Sons.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986.
Tax Relief Advocates, real solutions for real people.
So many of us look around our house and say it is time to downsize. That's exactly what Susan and Kevin Borowick did. They join us now. I want to ask you about the process of working with the John Schuster Group, Coldwell Banker Realty, and your agent, Kieran Evanson.
Well, it was just extremely smooth. We sat down, he did a market analysis for us so we could really develop a good pricing strategy. He sent out a staging consultant who helped us get things ready for for showing. We just couldn't be happier. We received an offer, actually more than one offer, quite a bit over our asking price.
That's part of the whole Schuster Group difference is that their marketing programs really target the right buyers. Did you feel that when they were going through the process with you?
Absolutely.
If someone is on the fence about hiring the Schuster Group, what would you tell them?
They greatly exceeded our expectations, and I would say you just cannot go wrong working with the Schuster Group.
Contact John Schuster of the John Schuster Group, 952-222-9000, online, johnschustergroup.com. Terms and conditions may apply.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy plates every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
The ride home deserves better conversation. Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Rock your body, yeah. Everybody, yeah. Rock your body, rock.
Texter saying, Jason, I get the statement to a point coming from Lindsey, but that doesn't discount the fact that her dad said he hopes she never races again. Yeah, that is what her dad said, and I understand that, right? And she's probably done at this point. She probably was going to be done regardless. She's 41. Like, this was sort of the last go, right?
At least at Olympics. But, I mean, there's other world championships and stuff like that. I mean, look, a dad just watched his daughter get airlifted off a mountain for the second time in a matter of weeks.
Right.
I don't know any father that wouldn't say, yeah, I kind of wish she would be done with it. But whatever. It's not his call. He knows that, I'm sure, as well as anybody. It's up to her. And she's got to earn her spot. The way she'd earned her spot into the Olympics, there was a texter that asked if she took somebody else's spot. No, she earned her way there. So she's got to do that if she wants to come back and do this more, and that's up to her.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like this wasn't like, a sponsor's exemption at the Masters. Like, no. She earned her way into
100%.
Ridiculously proud of Lindsey Vonn. Those people who are attacking her have never left their mom's sofa, says a texter. It makes for a good movie. It does make for a good movie. I asked about kind of regrets and going all in. Paul is in Lakeville with a story about that. Hey, Paul.
Hey, how are you doing today? Great job as always. I love your afternoon show. Keep it up.
Thank you. You've gone all in, Paul?
Yeah, just down the street from the WCCO studios was an old church called Wesley Church, kind of a big red building by the convention center. I was pastoring there at the time, and the convention center wanted to bulldoze it down and make it part of their extended convention center parking lot. And our family decided that we just purchased the building ourselves. It was up for sale, and so we had to put our house that was on the block, my retirement, my pension, everything I had to buy that building. And we started a organization called Saving Sacred Spaces. Bought the building, fixed it up, and took care of it for a while, and then resold it. And then we've been doing that ever since, of just kind of buying old buildings around the Twin Cities and trying to keep them in the historic value.
Huh. It was a risk at the time, right?
Yeah, it could have. We just kind of joked, said, well, if we go under, we can at least live it's a big building. We can just live there instead of our house and do the best with it, right?
Yeah, I always wonder, like, when you were thinking about it, like, do I do it or do I not? Were people supportive of you, like your friend group, or were they like trying to talk you out of it?
I had a lot of friend group trying to talk me out. I walked down with two pastors who I trust a lot as guidance counselors, and we walked around the building, prayed about it, and we just said something this old and this beautiful in downtown Minneapolis should not disappear. regardless of the reason. And so we really felt we had a call from God to God would watch over it and make sense, and we did it.
So cool. Thanks, Paul. Really appreciate that. Those are those inflection points. They're hard. They're hard. Like it's easier to go the safe route, right? And I guess for me, to a certain degree, like leaving Channel 4 was my like push all the chips in and see if I could do something else. Now, I feel like I sometimes hesitate to say that was a major risk because I had, like, my wife had a job. You know what I mean? So if I failed, I felt like I wasn't risking much. And I had, like, sort of an ill-placed confidence that, like, somebody would hire me back in TV if it didn't work. I don't know.
I understand what you're saying, and it would have been a lot easier for you to just stay where you were, doing what you were doing.
Yeah.
You were good at it. They liked you. They weren't going to kick you out of there anytime soon.
Right.
It would have been fine. The harder thing was to say, no, I'm going to leave this comfort zone. I'm going to go try to do something else that I might or might not be comfortable doing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
And that could, not work out.
Yeah, it just never fully felt that way to me, and maybe that's part of the risk-taker mindset, that the risk of doing nothing feels, or the risk of treading water feels more risky.
I heard a guy once that was going to go plant a church say that he was scared to do it, but he was more scared to not do it.
Yeah.
And the church folded, so it didn't work out.
Didn't work.
He moved on to a different, job entirely. But I don't think for a second he regrets taking the risk.
I am a little worried about Gen Zers when it comes to their willingness to take a risk. Dan, you sent me a story today that claims half of Gen Z brings parents to job interviews.
Oh, my goodness.
If I were hiring and somebody brought their parents to the job interview, I mean, you would never get that job. No way in hell. 50%, this is some outfit called Resume Templates, 50% of college-age job seekers had their parents sit with them at an in-person interview. 35% said their parents either wrote a cover letter or performed a test assignment for them. Career coaches saying they had never seen parents this involved in their child's job searches in the past. Why? COVID is the speculation that COVID broke kids and broke parents. Get it together, parents. Like, oh my gosh, could you imagine if Seth or Sam asked me to, like,
well, let's be real, they'd ask Alyssa. let's just start there.
I mean, my kids are Gen Z. Are the fellow Gen Zers like that much of a loser that you would have your parents sit in on a job interview?
Is that a fear-based thing? If it's fear of the unknown, I haven't done a lot of job interviews before, but I know mom or dad have, so there's sort of a safety blanket element to it, or what drives it, I wonder?
It's anxiety, right? They're so anxious. They're so anxious.
So if mom or dad are there, I'll be a little bit more relaxed and likely to do better on the interview.
Maybe. It's like I need my safety blanket. I don't know that I believe this survey. Right? Half? Come on. Wouldn't we be hearing this more? From like real hirers. I don't know. Text in if you've ever
this
seen.
Isn't a real hirer?
I
this
don't
finally
know.
crafted internet story.
I'm a little skeptical.
Come on, man.
It seems like too easy.
A lot of stories out there like it. Smoke, there's fire.
Maybe. Let's break. Emily on YouTube says, I think the stat is made up. Texter, find a real survey place. I don't believe it. Jason, in the field of new product innovation, which I've experienced, you succeed at about 3 in 100. Yeah, so failure is part of it. How much of this Gen Z? This is 612 making a good point. How much of these Gen Z interview stats is the parents? The parents not being able to let go. That is very possible. Maybe Gen Z is fine, and it's you millennial parents that have really screwed up. I'm sure my fellow Gen Xers would never. We would never. All right, let's break. We're going to talk about Super Bowl ads. Super Bowl ads. I've got 2 experts from a local ad firm ready to go with their favorites and their flops. Your input is welcome. As always, we're streaming live on YouTube at the WCCO radio channel here on Drive Time.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, let's take a look at the forecast. Yeah, new month, still dealing with ice for the foreseeable future.
Hi, Gina. Hi, Grant. You guys hear us okay?
We're going to get rid of it.
Yeah.
No.
We got you both loud and
Next
clear.
few days, more of the same. Ice on the streets, ice in our
with you here
neighborhoods,
probably about 3-4
ice
minutes.
in places
Okay,
it shouldn't be.
Thank you.
Bill, we're still talking about the weather, right?
You tell me, Tom.
Well, the groundhog did reveal we'd see 6 more weeks of
ice. 6 more weeks of ice. Yeah, a lot of folks assume it'll just ease up eventually on its own. History says otherwise.
Different kinds of ice, same responsibility. News Talk 830 WCCO.
Jordana here for my friends at Mini Leaf. Hear what they're saying about this brand I love.
Tell me about your experience with the night gummies.
I started using them. I think this is my 3rd order. I heard Jordana on WCCO radio talking about it, and I thought, well, if she's doing it, trying to get off the Ambien, and I started with the pineapple gummies for sleep. That's what I take them for, is sleep. And I've been very pleased with the product. I started with the full gummy. Now I only take half, and that helps me sleep. So I'm very happy with the product, and I'm 70 years old. So.
And those Sleep Night gummies will help her sleep painlessly through the night. Those Sleep Night gummies are a real charm. Check out Mini Leaf's products at MINNELEAF.com. Check out that Triple Diamond Pain Cream, those Sleep Night gummies, or their other great products. I use them. There's so many CCOers that absolutely love them. You will too.
Mini Leaf means quality. Taste happy at minileaf.com.
The home of Minnesota's best legal products.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it, with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Some slowing for I-94 both directions between the Lower Hills Tunnel and 11th Avenue. South 35Ws leave downtown Minneapolis. Some slowing past Lake Street after that. Speeds hold up around the post all the way down to the Minnesota River Bridge. East 94 slows through St. Paul as you move past Highway 52. Sherry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time, and here is Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
There's some light mixed precipitation in the area. That will move out. Cloudy tonight, 28 the overnight low. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, a high of 35. That's still running about 9 degrees above average. But it's going to feel cooler. The wind picking up from the northwest 10 to 15 will make it feel like the 20s throughout the day. Sunshine, light wind Wednesday with a high of 36. We could see some light snow on Thursday.
Right now it is warm. Cloudy though, 38. Had to double check here on CC.
Jason DeRusha.
You are worth the price of admission.
every single day because I have no bleeping idea what you are capable of saying.
On News Talk 830 WCCO.
Have you ever in your life seen tight ends this relaxed? I am so relaxed. They're carefree.
Such a good payoff. Such a great ad.
So good.
Just highly entertaining. Highly entertaining. That ad from Novartis here on the Super Bowl. And we are talking about our favorite ads with some of the experts from Rise and Shine and Partners, which is an ad and marketing firm here in the Twin Cities. Gina Nacey is the partner and director of creative strategy, and Grant Smith is creative director and copywriter. And I know that the two of them had a group chat that was blowing up last night, so we thought we'd bring the group chat to life here on the radio show today. Gina and Grant, nice to see you both.
Great to be here.
Awesome to be here.
All right, let's talk about the tight end ad, because that was one of the few that I actually saw ahead of time. As always, we see all these ads before, so there are limited surprises. But I I went on the no spoiler approach and wasn't watching them. That one for me had the payoff of humor, but also very directly focused on what the mission was of that product. So to me, that was a win. What did you think, Gina?
100% agree. Like in our industry, we'll always, kind of talk about how on brief it was. Like you have a business assignment and an objective to accomplish, and it was really clear what they were trying to achieve, and they did it with humor, and the music was memorable, the scenes were memorable, and the takeaway was just easy to remember, which is ultimately the goal.
We're all Enya fans here. We're all of a certain age.
Yes, we are.
I do think the ads were certainly targeted to the 45 to 55-year-old demographic, Grant. It certainly felt like it was a nostalgia time for us.
Well, you're not wrong, especially if you're talking about colon screening. Then you're naturally gearing yourself towards that demographic, right? I mean, they knew they knew the assignment, right? They did it. They brought a disruptive song into the middle of a Super Bowl party. Who plays Enya during a Super Bowl party? And then shows you a bunch of the best tight ends that you've ever enjoyed watching, and puts them in a brand new context. Just a delight. And from a pharma company of all.
How about
things.
that? Yes.
Yeah, right?
Not known for the risk taking and all of that. So pretty good. I think that was a good ad. Gina, what when you look at the themes, what jumps out to you?
Well, I think clearly there was this just mass amount of AI companies and AI product. And so this idea of future and the future of tech and how we're using it, but a lot of it got really lost. I think on the converse side of things, nostalgia was the other thing. I mean, you mentioned it with Enya. And so it's this, it really makes a lot of sense. All the nostalgia that we heard in the music, that we saw in the actors, the throw of styles with the karaoke style spot, and then of course the good Duncan, or oh my goodness, the Duncan spot with all of the throwback days. But we all crave nostalgia in times of uncertainty, so we want comfort. So it really made sense in terms of why it showed up in the way it did. But the two spectrum, I thought was a really interesting thing to watch.
That's Gina Nacey, Grant Smith with Rise and Shine and Partners. Grant, what did you have a favorite ad for you that really stood out?
I had so many favorites. Like this Super Bowl was rich in comedy, which is I've got a great love of. So there was a lot of fun to be had, right? I mean, I really enjoyed the Hellman spot with Andy Samberg. Where he was Meal Diamond. There was some really fun ones.
You like that one? I thought that was disgusting. Like the squirting. Really? That for me was ugh, no, I didn't like it.
It stuck in my head. Maybe it's because I'm a Neil Diamond fan, but it really stuck in my head one of the things we try to do as advertisers is we try to make things stick in your head. And it might be like a little disruptive the way that we do it, like having Andy Samberg there, or the manscaping clumps of hair that we're singing and talking, like or the toilets for IV, for liquid IV.
Liquid IV, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And all of these things are enormous, or may not be the most popular thing you want to remember, but you do.
Yeah.
And that can be really effective.
That's Grant Smith along with Gina Nacey. Gina, your favorite ad that you saw was?
Oh my goodness. I think it was kind of a tie between the Google Gemini new home spot. Like that was, it just kind of gave me all the feels.
Let's play a little clip of that so we can refresh people's memory. A lot of tech. You can see who has the money in our economy right now. It's certainly the tech and the AI companies. Because these ads...
That's my room?
Yeah, it's next to mine. And watch.
Wow. Can it be blue?
Yeah.
And Charlie's bed can go right there?
Here?
Yeah. Cool.
And look, here's the yard.
Oh, we could have a trampoline.
So this was... It was sweet, it was tender, and it also, like, you sort of understood. You're like, I get it. I know what this ad is about, right?
Yeah, Google does a great job in humanizing the technology and at the same time showing you really real world applications of it. But man, that little voice and then the way they're showing how his new home is going to be familiar, I thought was a really interesting parallel with like how the technology, like it's all new, but we can use it to do familiar things to kind of better our lives.
I got to ask you guys about all the AI ads because we had 6 people at our Super Bowl little party. And so it was small enough that you could really watch all of the commercials. You didn't have to shut everybody up to pay attention. And I feel like most of the AI spots it was like too early for people to understand what the bit was or what the joke was. So even though, like, I'm a chronically online sort of nerd and I understood this stuff, the crowd I was with did not get it, Grant. It was like it was money that was wasted on them for sure.
Absolutely. Well, they might not have been the audience for it, right? Like you were, and you got it. And the people who got it big. So there's been a lot of talk about whether about these AI ads and whether they were really effective. For me and you and many people who are working with AI and who recognize the problems that could come with ChatGPT, for example, installing advertising, and how's that gonna work? How's that gonna turn up in our results or the questions that we ask when we're looking for information? It's a really great communication to undermine some of that supremacy that ChatGPT has.
Gina, did you like the AI ads, or do you agree with Grant, or where are you on this? You look a little more skeptical.
I just thought about like the general consumer, to Grant's point of like know your audience, and like how many AI companies were broadcasting this to the entirety of the world.
I mean, 15 of the 66 spots, about a quarter of the Super Bowl ads had AI in it. OpenAI, Anthropic, Base 44, GenSpark. There was a vodka brand that used AI to make an ad. It was a lot. And I'm like, I'm intrigued by AI. Did I just give my credit card to AI dot whatever that website that I went and reserved my name on last night? I mean, I don't know.
Well, I mean, at least that one was effective then, because I feel like the bulk of people, including myself, I couldn't remember which ad was from whom, really. The only one I remembered was the Gemini because it was so human.
I like the Lay's potato chip. Although I feel like I was alone in my group. Everybody was like, this is sweet, but it doesn't make me want to buy potato chips. which I thought was sort of interesting because the story of like the dad handing down his potato farm to the daughter, to me, it got me right in the feels.
Yeah.
But also like there is a disconnect between buying a bag of potato chips and thinking about it as a farmed product. So I think that was, I don't know, Grant, that was sort of the problem for me.
It really solidified Lay's place as a producer of something from the farms of America. And it creates this really good feeling. When you see Lay's on the shelf, you don't necessarily have like an amazingly good feeling. And they were trying to install more of a positive image to what Lay's product is.
It's kind of interesting. Did it work for you, Gina?
Yeah, I liked that one. You know, I'm a sucker for some heartstrings, but I also thought that it was smart of them to like cue in on that like farm to chip bag idea where younger consumers really care more about where their food comes from. And so I thought that played well into that.
Interesting. Really good. Gina and Grant, this was really fun. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us today. That was really good.
Loved it. Thank you.
Thanks, Jason.
Gina, Nacey, Grant Smith from Rise and Shine and Partners with a little bit of analysis of the Super Bowl ads. Your texts are coming in. Keep them coming. 651-461-9226. Drive Time back in a minute here on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
All right, this is not a Super Bowl worthy ad, but I do think this is an important ad for you to listen to. It's Jason here. Talking insurance. We didn't see any insurance ads. Used to be like that was all you'd see on football and on Super Bowl. The Canopy Group, you know, all they can afford is me because they're saving the money and spending it on making sure you have the best coverage at the best price. There have been some good developments when it comes to the price of insurance. And I want to make sure that you are taking advantage of it, which is why you should get to thecanopygroup.com. Auto insurance rates are finally starting to come down in Minnesota. They've been up and up and up, and home insurance rates have been a real hassle. The Canopy Group gives you peace of mind. They have 50 professionals, 16 reputable insurance companies at their disposal, not just one agent with one company. So when you call 800-967-3389, you get all of that access. So they make sure you get the best coverage at the best price. When I called the Canopy Group, they saved me and my family more than $800 that first year. And then they run your scenario year after year after year. Pretty good stuff. The savings by not buying a big game ad, they'll pass it on to you. Get to thecanopygroup.com. You can get a quote online or make that call. 800-967-3389.
I was ordering food for the office from the same few places for too long.
For workplaces suffering with office food fatigue, every day's a struggle.
Before starting Easy Cater, I assumed having no good vegan options for Carl in finance was normal.
Easy Cater is designed to treat OFF with a huge variety of favorite restaurants, plus tools to help you meet dietary needs and stay on budget. Used daily, one platform lets you save time and shine. Ask your app store about Easy Cater or start an order at easycater.com.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
You've got a big day,
So you use Unstoppable scent boosters to give your laundry non-stop freshness. So no matter how long the day goes, you
can't stop this power, this walk, this pose, this strut, this look, this talk.
Your clothes will be so fresh you can confidently strut into that end of the day meeting like a
boss, 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 bosses. Let's talk business in my office.
Add new Unstoppables beads to your wash for 24-hour non-stop freshness so you can smell unstoppable.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Seeing some flowing for East 94 Riverside as you head out toward Cretin Avenue. If you're going to be traveling through the stretch, give yourself 3 to 5 on the drive. 394 westbound, some slowing out of downtown Minneapolis over to Penn Avenue. And looks like got some slowdowns for Highway 36 eastbound, making way toward Selling Avenue over to Rice Street. Joey Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast time tonight. Chance of a light wintry mix. Cloudy night, low of 28. Tomorrow, 35, but breezy. It's not going to be super fun. Wednesday is the winner of the week, 36 for the high. Right now, it's 38. Cloudy on CCO.
Jason DeRUSH.
He just doesn't know when to shut up, and he doesn't necessarily listen to really smart people.
Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
So, Dan, you wrote down your favorite Super Bowl ad. Texters are coming in with some of their favorites. What was your favorite?
I think my favorite was the Lay's ad.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I understand, the like you talk about the people that were saying, it doesn't make me want to go out and buy potato chips. I don't think that was the point of the ad. I think the point of the ad was to build brand identity or to build brand vibes, maybe might be a better way to put it.
Yeah.
So that as you're going through the store next time, oh yeah, that was, you just feel good about that brand in a way that maybe you didn't prior to that commercial. I thought that commercial was great. I also like, and this is one I don't see a lot of people talking about, the Pepsi ad with the polar bears.
Oh, yeah. That scored very high on the
If for no other reason than riffing off of the Coldplay couple, I thought that was hilarious and loved it.
That was pretty good.
And the liquid IV, look at your pee, just anything that makes people a little squeamish like that. And the tight ends ad was sort of the same way.
Right.
I thought those were both great.
Uncomfortable stuff that
gets your attention, and it's memorable.
Yeah. I liked the Michael Che and Colin Jost. It was a gambling commercial.
Yep.
And the bit was that it was live, but the voiceover came in it was like dubbing in the name of the teams and dubbing it
and turned out they were green screened in a closet.
That made me laugh. I thought that was
I like
pretty
that one
good.
too. The 70-year-olds I was watching it with, I don't think have any clue who those two guys are, so I don't think it landed with them.
No. There wasn't a lot of insurance ads, but there was a Living on a Prayer State Farm ad. That was pretty funny. I wonder if these ads have sort of jumped the shark.
I think there's a certain degree of that.
The expectations are so. I'm like, is it me? Am I more like, do I want more than it's even possible to give?
Well, what you want, I don't know. Like the Dunkin' ad that people are talking about felt like the kind of ad where if we just throw enough famous people into a scenario, then it'll be a good ad.
Yes.
And I thought it was, I didn't like it at all. I thought it was just dumb. And I think because ads have gone, have hit for different reasons, there's usually an ad every year where you're like, that's the one that won.
Yeah.
And I didn't feel like there was that there was ads I liked, but there wasn't an ad like, oh, that's the one everybody's going to be talking about tomorrow. Because there's so many different ways to do it, and you never really know what's going to hit, what's not going to hit, I guess.
The TSR ads, so there are some local spots. I will say I was surprised. Did you see a Care 11 ad during the Super Bowl? Because I feel like I didn't.
Not that I recall, no.
And I think that is weird. Maybe it's because they didn't know who their new anchor was going to be. Like they just hired somebody.
Couldn't produce one in time?
Maybe. I don't know. The Levi's commercial. I like the Levi's commercial too. The red tab Just right away when you saw the red tab, you knew Levi's. And it was butts. Who doesn't like butts? You're not a big butt guy?
I'm not a butt guy.
Huh. Interesting. I'm a butt guy. Yeah. There's no shame in that.
None at all.
Is this a safe space to admit that?
Absolutely.
Texters, a lot of texters like the Clydesdale ad. I'm going to be honest. I don't get it. I love America. I love the heartstrings.
People love those horses, man.
I don't care. It does nothing for me.
You ever seen them live?
Yeah, they're cool.
It
is cool.
It's impressive.
I just there's something about the ad. Like
thing,
I don't know.
There was somebody I was watching with that was the only. When's the Clydesdale ad coming on?
Yeah, I know it's the number one in the USA Today ad meter.
The people, they love the horses.
Gambling has ruined so much of sports already. Now it's all over the ads. I do think. Don't you think when you see a celebrity in the gambling ad, it always makes me think like,
well, you've got money to lose. That's easy for you.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
I always think like, how desperate are these guys for money? Like, isn't that a little, like, I feel like it's a little embarrassing of a thing to advertise, right? It's like the celebrities who are advertising like the solitaire video games or whatever. You're like, how big is the payday for you to like just...
The gambling apps make you relevant with the young kids.
I guess. All right, we're going to break. DeRUSH Hour News Headlines. We'll get you up to date on everything going on here in Minnesota. And Dave Schwartz coming up in a half hour, too.
At Advent, nasal congestion and sinus infections can be solved with an in-office 20-minute procedure. Elsewhere, expect surgery.
We all have different skills, things that make us unique. And in the Minnesota Army National Guard, we combine all of that for a common mission, serving our home. I'm Sergeant First Class Cameron Riggs from Winona. We know strength isn't found alone. It comes when all of us fight for the same goal. When that goal is protecting what matters most, there is nothing stronger. What will you bring to help us build that strength? Go to nationalguard.com/Minnesota to see how you can get started.
Paid for by the Minnesota Army National Guard. Brought to you by the Minnesota Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take DayQuil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the DayQuil.
Undo your flu symptoms with DayQuil Intense Flu. DayQuil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
DayQuil Intense Flu. The daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
The microphone at the center of Minnesota's news. News Talk 830 WCCO. KMNB HD2, Minneapolis, St. Paul. Always streaming on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Cammie McCormick. Today Show host Savannah Guthrie made another appeal today to the public to help find her missing mother.
We believe our mom is still out there. We need your help.
She did not mention a deadline or a ransom, and CBS's Andres Gutierrez reports authorities don't appear to have much to go on.
They still don't have a suspect. There is no person of interest or any suspicious vehicles that have been tied to this investigation.
She was last seen on January 31st. Jeffrey Epstein's former companion, Ghislaine Maxwell, invoked her Fifth Amendment rights today and refused to answer questions from members of the House Oversight Committee. Representative Jasmine Crockett of Texas said there are others they'd like to question.
We need to make sure that there's not some cabal that is operating currently and still engaging in this type of behavior.
Maxwell's attorney indicated she would talk if granted clemency. Committee Chairman James Comer.
What she said today, she's asked for clemency from the president. So I personally don't think she should be granted any type of immunity or clemency.
At the Justice Department today, some lawmakers got a look at unredacted Epstein files. CBS's Scott McFarland reports.
3 million pages of files have been released. We are still trying to make our way through those. Members of Congress can look at some of the other 3 million, but I think needle in a haystack is a charitable way of trying to describe what they're looking for or going to find.
Wendy Gillette reports there are 2 trials getting underway, raising questions about social media sites and their impact on kids.
A lawyer for a 20-year-old woman accuses Meta and YouTube of engineering addiction in children in a trial that's underway in a Los Angeles court. She claims severe mental harm because of social media addiction as a child. The state of New Mexico is also suing Meta, accusing the company of misrepresenting the safety of its platforms. Attorney Donald Migliori.
Meta put profits over safety.
The state accuses Meta of creating a breeding ground for child sex predators. Wendy Gillette, CBS News.
Public school teachers in San Francisco have gone on strike. It's the first such strike in nearly 50 years. Nurses at 2 major hospital systems in New York City have reached a deal to end a nearly month-long strike. Nurse Patrick Klein.
We want to get back in there. We want to take care of our patients.
The agreement still needs approval by union members. On Wall Street today, stocks finished higher. The Nasdaq was up by 207 points. The Dow Jones Industrials finished the day 20 points higher. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Minnesota's trusted voice, every hour. Let's get you caught up with what's happening now on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Cloudy, 37 degrees at 5:03. I'm Laura Oakes. Former U.S. Attorney Andy Luger says the recent exodus from Minnesota's federal prosecutor's office could lower the quality of Minnesota's legal system. He says it's abhorrent that the office now seems to be prioritizing politically aligned lawyers over veteran candidates, telling WCCO's Chad Hartman it's a sharp reversal of the office's and his own history of nonpartisan hiring.
I want people who have good judgment. I want people who can look at a case and determine if it's something we can really prosecute or not. Is it worth our time?
He says he's worried all of this could lead to a long-term erosion of the office's professional standards. More than 13,000 applicants approved in the first full month of Minnesota's new paid family and medical leave program. Most of them are women under 40 who are bonding with a child and receiving roughly between $1,100 and $1,400 a week. Department of Employment and Economic Development Deputy Commissioner Evan Rowe says they're also keeping a close eye on fraud, saying they have stopped numerous attempts.
When people aren't who they claim to be, when people submit false documentation to us, suggesting that that they have spoken with a medical provider when in fact they have not spoken with a medical provider and gotten the appropriate certification.
Funding for the program is provided by a payroll tax on employers. Some small business owners and industry groups have expressed opposition to the program over financial and staffing concerns. Republican Scott Jensen is explaining his decision to drop out of Minnesota's gubernatorial race and instead run for state auditor.
Jensen tells WCCO Radio's Adam Carter that he did not see himself as the strongest candidate moving forward and that far-right Republicans most likely did not care for some of his comments throughout his campaign.
I've made a comment, I'm going to run as long as I think I'm the best candidate to win in November. That's not what many people wanted to hear. They wanted to hear that the endorsement was the Holy Grail and that if I didn't get it, I was out. And I wasn't willing to say that.
Jensen says he won't yet endorse a Republican candidate, but says he does see Senator Amy Klobuchar as a tough candidate for Republicans to beat in November. Mark Fry, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Minneapolis-based Target planning to step up store staffing but eliminate about 500 jobs at distribution centers and regional offices. That's according to an internal memo obtained by CNBC. And it's a first of its kind in Minnesota.
One life is too many. This is a problem that we can prevent.
Dustin Gillespie is a special agent with the Drug Enforcement Administration on the fentanyl crisis in the country, announcing today they put up a new billboard on northbound 94 near Lowry to get the message out about the dangers of fentanyl.
I've talked to a lot of families, as you have, who have lost a loved one to fentanyl, and it was just one time, and that was it. And And so we got to get those stories out there to help educate people.
He says last year alone, 55,000 Americans died of fentanyl overdose. Susie Jones, News Talk 830 WCCO.
And WCCO News Time is 5:06.
Flint Hills Resources Pine Bend Refinery in Rosemont produces important transportation fuels used throughout the Midwest, but they're also active in the community. They support many programs and organizations that make Minnesota better. Go to FHR.com.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
And this update is brought to you by Flint Hills Resources. 694 eastbound is make way toward White Bear Avenue. Got a crash off to the right side. Right lane may be affected a bit. Traffic is jammed up as you come in from 35 east. 694 eastbound finding some slowing there right now as make way between 252 and Central. West 94 jammed up Hemlock Lane to Weaver Lake Road. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Chanhassen Dinner Theaters presents Guys and Dolls, a high-rolling musical spectacle packed with iconic songs and dazzling dance numbers. Don't miss this Tony Award-winning Best Musical, Guys and Dolls. Tickets at chanhassendt.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Brought to you by Chanhassen Dinner Theaters, always entertaining you. Here's WCCO TV Chief Meteorologist Chris Schaefer.
The light mixed precipitation in areas will clear out this evening, leaving us cloudy tonight. 28 the overnight low. Tomorrow's going to feel cooler. We could see some peaks of sunshine with a high of 35, but that darn wind is going to pick up from the northwest 10 to 15 miles per hour, making it feel like the 20s. Sunshine Wednesday, mid-30s, light snow possible Thursday, and this coming weekend, we're back in the 40s.
Cloudy right now, 37 at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Dependable, sometimes unpredictable, and always relevant and compelling. News Talk 830 WCCO. He knows news. He knows talk. He knows nonsense, too. So get ready for a lot of each. This is Drive Time with DeRUSH. Once again, here's Jason DeRUSH.
All right, it is Monday. Are you energized? Are you feeling good? I know there's always this debate that the day after the Super Bowl should be a holiday because everyone's so tired from the big party.
Now shut up and drive.
We had people over. Our spread, by the way. I feel like this weekend, not to brag, but do you mind if I brag for a moment, Dan? Is that...
Not at all, since I was invited to the party. I'd love to hear.
All right. I know you were going to your parents. I knew you had plans. Saturday night, we had like a family birthday party thing at our apartment. So we had my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and their two kids. And we had Mama's Pizza, just named the #1 pizza in Minnesota by noted pizza expert Blois Olson at thedailyagenda.com. We had Mama's, and then we got wings, pizza and wings, and the wings were from Hickory Hut in St. Paul, which was delicious wings. And then last night, my friend Danny made meatballs in Sunday gravy in red sauce, and the meatballs were made of Italian sausage from Cassetta's. Also, like, side note, could I be any more 6'5"? I mean, I am. I know everybody thinks I'm I'm a West Sider. No, I moved to St. Paul. I'm all in, baby. Although tonight I'm going to dinner in St. Louis Park. So it was pretty fun. We made like a cauliflower. Which of these things would you, Dan Cook, eat?
Mm-hmm.
We had Baba's hummus.
Nope.
With vegetables.
Nope.
Crudités, if you will. We had a buffalo cauliflower dip.
Nope.
We had chips and salsa.
I mean, I like chips.
Our bowl salsa from El Burrito Mercado.
No.
No. We had gochujang caramel cookies that my friend made.
No idea what that even is.
We had water. We had some water. Would you have?
I like water.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was delicious. It was delicious. I feel like we made chili. We had chicken chili. Were you on chili?
Not a fan.
What's the problem with chili?
I don't like it.
Do you not like soup?
I don't like chili.
Huh. Is it the beans?
I don't like chili.
Who doesn't like chili?
That would be me.
Huh. Well, you would have had a terrible time.
Yeah, I would have.
You would have had it. Absolutely. Now, someone texted. What's funny is when you text Super Bowl, a lot of times it autocorrects to superb owl. Our superb owl spread was a second Thanksgiving because the last one was dry and the sides were horrible, so we had a redo. That's pretty fun.
That's a pretty good idea.
That's pretty brilliant. Well done. Well done to the 6-1 tour. I was up at 8 a.m. No, I had an 8 a.m. meeting this morning because a friend of mine who really is not that much of a sports fan said, hey, could we have breakfast at 8 a.m.? And last night, around the third quarter, I texted and was like, is this for real? Or like, who suggested this? And like, what are we doing? Did not care for that 8 a.m. breakfast meeting today. Let's get you up to date on everything going on. Drive time with DeRUSH. We call this the DeRUSH Hour News Headlines.
The headlines you might have missed without missing a beat. This is your fast pass through the biggest and most impactful stories of the day. Welcome to the DeRUSH Hour Headlines, starting with the lead.
I do want to start with the latest update from Savannah Guthrie. This story is so heartbreaking. I think about this story every day. I haven't quite figured out like how we all should talk about this. But when you have parents of a certain age, you worry about them. I'm worrying up and down. I worry about my parents. I worry about my kids. And Savannah Guthrie, just within the last couple of hours, releasing a new video on Instagram. And this video is different. She was asking for the public's help, because they believe that their mother is still out there, but she's been missing for more than a week. We are at an hour of desperation. 84-year-old mother, just a heartbreaking story. And obviously it has the elements of a celebrity with the Savannah Guthrie. But I think a lot of us, you think like it is so rare today to have someone just snatched from their home and to have such mystery. Absolutely heartbreaking. Let's hope she should be at the Olympics, covering the Olympics. And instead, she's desperately hoping that someone will help lead them to their mom. Here in the Twin Cities, I will say this. I think a lot of people think that the ice surge in Minnesota has stopped, and it has not. But the surge appears to be outside of the South Minneapolis core where it was focused. And the reality is school leaders all around the state are saying that they're worried they're going to end up with cuts to their state funding. You know, funding in Minnesota is a somewhat complicated performance and measure, but we know that many students are not going to school. And Fridley's superintendent said, look, even a small number of students missing makes a real difference. If 25 students were dropped, because you have to drop a kid as being an official student counting as attendance. But if 25 students were dropped with roughly half the school remaining, Fridley would lose more than $100,000 in state funding. And you can't, most of the expense of schools is staffing. And you can't fire a teacher in the middle of the year because you're down 25. So it's a real mess. It's a real mess. Thousands of families across the state have been keeping their kids at home. Now, if you're keeping your kids at home and doing online learning, that's fine. But not every district has offered that up. State education officials couldn't confirm, according to the Minnesota Star Tribune, if the agency will be adjusting funding for school districts because of this disruption. Many schools are delivering meals to kids as well. But the school finance issue here is real, and it's happening all over the state. Scott Jensen announced that he's out of the race for governor, and instead he's going to run for state auditor. He was on with Adam Carter earlier today, and he explained a little bit why he decided he was going to bow out of the race for governor.
I've made a comment, I'm going to run as long as I think I'm the best candidate to win in November. That's not what many people wanted to hear. They wanted to hear that the endorsement was the Holy Grail and that if I didn't get it, I was out. And I wasn't willing to say that.
So Scott Jensen, who lost last time, he has been polling at near the bottom of the group of sort of the known candidates this time around. Adam also asked about the racist video that President Trump posted on his True Social account last Friday. And, it's this kind of comment also maybe signaled why Scott Jensen knew that he wasn't going to have success on the Republican primary for governor.
I think it was disgusting. And I don't use the F word, but I would be willing to say I think it's effing disgusting. And this has got to stop.
Scott Jensen's right on the money about that. I do think, side note, that everybody who's running for auditor does not know what the auditor of Minnesota actually does. All these people who are saying they're going to fight fraud in the state auditor's job, the main job of the state auditor is to audit local units of government. You're not auditing the state. Now, should that change? Perhaps, but that is not what the Minnesota Constitution says, and it's not what state statute says about what the job of the auditor is. Should it be different? Perhaps. But I don't know what all these people campaigning are doing, talking about that they're going to go fight fraud. Doesn't make sense to me. I'm for it. Go. Everybody should be fighting fraud. But that's not what the auditor does. Maybe it doesn't matter. People don't know what it is, and they'll vote for whoever they think is right. Interesting story from NBC News. Adults who played a specific type of video game were found to have a dramatically lower risk of developing Alzheimer's.
In Double Decision, you will identify a vehicle and locate a road sign. Click the Start button to begin.
Brain training video game may help protect your brain against dementia for decades. Experts saying the findings are the strongest evidence so far that cognitive training can actually create lasting changes in the brain. Pretty cool stuff. We're going to break in just a minute. We'll talk about mercy instead of punishment. A homeless shelter who found, they found their shelter vandalized. They had to move people out because it was so terrible. When it came time for the sentence of the person who was guilty of it, they didn't ask for jail time. They didn't ask for money to be paid back. What did they ask for? We'll talk about it when we come back.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH. Video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
Don't take an unsolicited cash offer for your home before calling the John Schuster Group with Coldwell Banker Realty. It's Vanita here. Here's an example of just how this works. Gail wanted to sell her home as is without having to pay for expensive repairs. John told her she could get more money for her home by selling with him than she could by taking an instant offer. And it's true. John was confident her home could still sell quickly. Gail could still sell her home as is. John's marketing system helps him sell his clients' homes fast and for the most money possible.
And it worked. The good neighbor agent, John Schuster, sold it for the asking price. It only took him 7 days. Curious what your home is worth? Just type in your address on johnschustergroup.com.
Buy a home, sell a home, we'll get you moving. johnschustergroup.com.
Terms and conditions may apply.
Hey, Twins fans, it's time for spring training at Fort Myers. Cheer on your favorite team at Hammond Stadium within the Lee Health Sports Complex. Then explore our islands, beaches, and neighborhoods between games. Sink your toes into white sand. Discover lush nature preserves filled with wildlife. And dine on fresh Gulf seafood. Turning your love for baseball into a relaxing vacation just feels right. Start planning at visitfortmyers.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
A remarkable show of mercy is where we take DeRUSH Hour News Headlines in depth. A conversation with the CEO of People Serving People, Wong Murphy, who was faced with a choice when a neighbor attacked a Minneapolis homeless shelter, and it came time for the sentencing. Wong, thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Thank you for inviting me onto the show.
I think our criminal justice system, when you are wronged, people want punishment. But you took a different approach when a group of your neighbors across the street from St. Anne's Place, a homeless shelter in North Minneapolis, attacked your shelter. Tell us what happened, first of all. What was the attack? Because this was very devastating to the people who were staying in the shelter.
Yeah, it absolutely was. In September of 2024, our St. Anne's Place shelter was attacked by a group of neighbors, but in particular, the defendant in this case took a baseball bat to, our front door and our windows, doing kick the staff member, all over a dispute with a parking spot. That was just an incredible misunderstanding.
It's sort of a neighborhood dispute, parking in front of a space, that sort of thing. Whatever the reason was, there's no justification for coming into a shelter, shattering doors and windows. But more than the physical damage, it forced you guys to take quite a bit of other action for the people staying in the shelter, right?
Yeah, we had to relocate everyone in the shelter, so that's 16 families, and we also then had to replace the doors, upgrade security, just really So it was about $250,000 worth of total damage once it was all done, or at least not damage, but just total cost.
Sure.
But really, what was most lost was just the sense that this couldn't happen, that no one would ever do this to a shelter.
The damage was about $21,000, and a judge was going to order this woman to pay that money back to People Serving People. What made you go to court and say, we don't want her money?
Yeah, what it really came down to is that, the reality is that we want her to do different. This restitution would pay back nothing in the sense of our sense of safety, or this idea that it couldn't happen again. But what it would also create is a debt trap for her. We have an idea of the economic circumstances that she's also coming from, and the reality is that she couldn't enter our shelter if she were to become homeless because of this attack. And so we don't want to create a scenario in which, she's then repeating the cycle and for her children. this was a chance to show that we can do something different.
And so this sort of a show of mercy, really. And I'm sure there was some debate, right, with your staff and with the staff at St. Anne's Place, too.
Yeah, I mean, it was something that we had to really sit with and discuss. But the reality is that we can't punish our way towards justice. And I think people are more than the worst thing that they've done and the worst thing that's ever been done to them. And this was an example for us to show that and to maybe start a different relationship and to reset that this isn't the way things have to be. I think as a country, we're really good at punishing people. We're not so good at caring for them.
Huang Murphy is the CEO of People Serving People. Is there a bigger lesson for all of us in the way that we do envision justice, the way we do envision punishment? I mean, sometimes a punishment is critical. It's part of the process. It's part of restoring dignity or safety or whatever to the person who's been wronged. But there are times that maybe mercy is the better path.
Yeah, I think the larger lesson is that, it's community that keeps community safe. And this is the way that we build that. The conditions that led to, our families and this family in particular being disenfranchised and in a position where they felt like this was the appropriate reaction to losing something like a parking spot is just a deep sense of, lack of power. People always say that, power corrupts, absolutely, but I think the opposite is also true. Absolute powerlessness corrupts as well. And this is an example of that. When people don't have tools or choices, they will cling to the things that they can, and that's usually harm for themselves and for others. We can choose a different path. We can build community, we can invest in each other, and we can take care of each other.
Is this sheer kindness, or do you think that what you're doing is maybe, I don't know, is this maybe a better thing for the long-term development and relationships that you guys have with your neighbors there at St. Anne's Place?
Yeah, I think it could be both. I mean, this is a neighbor who's planning to move anyways, but I think that I wish there was more choices, right? That there wasn't just, this punishment or not. I wish that there was a restoring process that could allow us to bring people back into community and build relationship and, be maybe more service and relationship based. But until then, we have a legal system that is very black and white. And we have to exist amongst it. This is the best outcome I could see given a really difficult scenario.
Has she expressed any gratitude? I know her lawyer did, and she gave like a very short sort of apology in court. But has there been any other interaction afterwards?
Not afterward. She has to stay, and so that includes a no contact order. And so we won't be hearing from her for the next 3 years. But in that time, I really hope that at the end of it, she is able to circle back with us and, restore, and would love to see how things have changed and, welcome her back into our village.
Yeah. Just really powerful. I appreciate you spending some time to explain the thought process behind it, and hopefully onward to the work, that you guys are always doing. People Serving People CEO Huang Murphy with us. Thanks, Huang. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Dave Schwartz is coming up in just a couple of minutes. The Super Bowl, were you cheering for the Minnesota Vikings? Or, our former quarterback that we let go to another team and then just won a Super Bowl? We're going to talk. I thought the game was kind of a dud. The score made it look like there was a lot going on, and it was dull. But that seemed to be the theme of the NFL this year, like the game manager, the boring quarterback with an amazing defense seemed to work very, very, very well. Dave Schwartz plus the Timberwolves in action tonight. What has happened to the Minnesota Timberwolves? That when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Tech, sponsored by Ethos.
NVIDIA is full pedal to the metal with its AI factory expansion plans. The AI chipmaker says it's investing $2 billion into CoreWeave, which will develop and operate 5 gigawatts of AI factories by 2030 for NVIDIA. the equivalent of powering around 4 million U.S. households. NVIDIA last year ordered more than $6 billion worth of AI factory capacity. I'm Jason Brooks.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. My husband, Ryan, died. We never thought we'd ever have to use life insurance, but the unexpected happened. With Ethos, signing up was fast and 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage. I'm grateful we were prepared.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Finding excuses to not do your taxes? Well, you can start today and file for free with TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. Just file on your own in the Credit Karma app by February 28th and you'll pay $0. Start filing for free today. Offer only for those who didn't file with TurboTax last year.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's your captain speaking. To the passenger with the Mirror Fast soft shoes, smart move.
No way am I letting travel constipation ruin this trip.
Can't blame you. Mirror Fast works fast, but without the harsh side effects.
Since I'm such a smart traveler, can I move to first class?
No. Close the curtain, Carol.
From the makers of Miralax, new Mirafast soft chews work naturally with your body in as little as 30 minutes to give you a comfortable go on the go. Find Mirafast today at your local retailer. Use as directed for occasional constipation. Contains magnesium hydroxide.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Slowdowns in place. West 94 as you move past 494, heading up toward County Road 30 as you make way through Maple Grove. Got some slowing as you travel south 169, Anderson Lakes Parkway, heading down to Pioneer Trail. Over on the east side, 52 northbound, your typical congestion across the Lafayette Bridge. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
Forecast time with Chief Meteorologist Chris Shaper.
There's some light mixed precipitation in the area. That will move out. Cloudy tonight, 28 the overnight low. Mostly cloudy tomorrow, a high of 35. That's still running about 9 degrees above average. But it's going to feel cooler. The wind picking up from the northwest, 10 to 15, will make it feel like the 20s throughout the day. Sunshine, light wind Wednesday with a high of 36. We could see some light snow on Thursday.
Right now, it is dark, cloudy, 36 on CCO.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH.
This sounds like torture to me.
On News Talk 830 WCCO. Now let's get a Monday rundown on the weekend in sports, where Dave brings the analysis and Jason brings the snacks.
Get your popcorn ready.
Time for some fun talking ball and other stuff with Dave Schwartz on Drive Time with DeRUSH.
If you're watching on the video stream right now on YouTube, Dave Schwartz appears to be joining us from some sort of Halloween setup. Are you lighting yourself with a flashlight? Like, what is going on there?
Well, I have a camera top light, but it's not. It stopped working all of a sudden. So I decided that, I would figure you'd want to see me. Although even with the low light, I have some sort of interesting filter on that makes me look much younger. I don't mind it.
Is it like a camera flashlight? Is that what you're using?
This is high tech. Here you go. Ready? We're gonna show over that.
Oh yeah.
So I just gotta light my eyes a little bit.
For one of my CNN interviews, Alyssa bought me when you go to restaurants now, like on the patios, sometimes they have these rechargeable sort of light fixtures where you tap it and it's like a little LED light. Mm-hmm. So she bought me one of those for our house, which then I had sitting on a chair, kind of putting the light up on my face. So you do what you got to do,
Do you remember? Well, I don't know. I think you were still in television during COVID. Were you when we were broadcasting from home and all of the intriguing and interesting things we had to do?
I only broadcast from home once.
Oh.
So I always went in because I wasn't like one of these cowards like all the rest of you. You know? I showed up to work like a real man, not
Here we
afraid,
go.
not afraid of anything.
I went in on weekends.
Bunch of you sheep doing whatever the government tells you.
I was in on weekends. It was because the main crew was home Monday through
Of course,
Friday.
they were
and on the
protected
weekends,
at all costs.
You guys can go in.
Yeah, that's right.
You can be Project Zero.
Yeah, no one seemed that concerned about me being at work.
On the week,
but-
Monday, Saturday, Sunday, everything's fine. On Mondays through Fridays, we want you to be safe. Stay home.
We still here have like some of the leftover signs from the COVID era where with like advice like wash your hands and, some of this other stuff where we didn't know nobody knew what we were doing, What can you do?
Well, you never even knew I never heard the term social distancing before then. I mean, it was nothing.
Kind of miss it though, don't you wish you could get people to stay like 6 feet away from you at all times?
Or wear a mask on your face when you go out in public? Yes, there are times. There are times.
Super Bowl Sunday. What was the Schwartz family scenario?
We went to a Super Bowl party.
Nice.
At our friend's house. We actually had 2 parties yesterday, an Olympic themed party in the afternoon.
That's fun.
And then a Super Bowl party in the evening. And I fell asleep during the third quarter. I can't do this anymore.
What did you bring? What did you bring to the Super Bowl party?
We brought some dip, a salad, and then I don't remember what else because my wife planned it, and my job was mainly carrying the heavy box with stuff in it to the car.
It's important.
And to the door.
It's important work.
It
For
is.
once,
I mean-
I actually didn't. I did a lot of the cooking this time. Usually,
Did you?
Alyssa does it. I take a picture of it and then post it on social media as if I did it. We have an understanding. We have an understanding.
Yeah, I bet she understands.
That is usually how we do it. But this time, I took no pictures of the actual work because I was, in fact, doing something useful for the family for once. So I made a chicken chili and a buffalo cauliflower dip.
Buffalo cauliflower. That actually sounds very good.
It was very good. You took like a whole head of cauliflower, sort of steamed it, and then kind of caramelized it. And then a little bit of, I used yogurt instead of sour cream, cream cheese, and hot sauce. And you kind of, it was delicious.
Well, I kind of wish I'd gotten the invitation.
Well, you need 3 parties in one day? I will tell you, in the first half, I wish that either the Patriots or the Seahawks would have gotten an invitation to the game because it was, I mean, not to be a crab about it, but it was pretty boring, I thought.
Yeah, it was. I mean, you got a defensive battle, right? I mean, which is
good, fine.
Yeah, and I
great.
feel like we've had this in the Super Bowl, maybe the last year or two, where like the first 3 quarters are kind of a snoozer, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter, everyone just kind of goes for it, and that happened last. I mean, I think that happened last night, but Seattle's defense is notorious this year for being outstanding, and they were last night. I mean, I think through 3 quarters of play, if they weren't the MVP, the kicker was, and then all of a sudden the fourth quarter, everything opens up.
Sam Darnold, I gave in, and I was cheering for him yesterday. And that's hard for me. That was difficult for me because even though I don't blame Sam Darnold, it's not his fault he left, but he left. And like, do I want to see a former Minnesota Viking succeed? Not really. I want him to be as miserable.
Jason, come on.
I want him to be as miserable as we are.
Oh,
why should he get all the money?
You have to rise above it.
I cannot.
And if you were in the same situation as him, that man went through the NFL's version of the Oregon Trail to try and nearly died every time along the way.
It's
I mean, he
true.
went to the Jets, the Panthers, the Niners, the Vikings, and then his 5th team, he finally wins. I'm happy for him.
Finally. I mean, our team has never won. I'm supposed to be so thrilled for Sam? Like, what have we done? What do we get here? The Lynx.
Maybe they should have given him more money then.
Yeah.
If he even wanted to stay. I don't even know, if the money works out, if it could have worked out. But ultimately,
food
I don't know.
reviews
I'm happy for the guy.
So I like this question that Food Reviews and Fun Things on YouTube asks. If Sam was still with us, I don't know if we would be going to the Super Bowl. Because different coaches, different players, who knows? I think that's a valid point.
I think it's an outstanding point. And I think if the Vikings offensive line is not the Seattle Seahawks offensive line.
Man, they were something else, weren't they?
And they were great. And Darnold, he thrived in that last night. He had so much. At one point, I swear he was back there for half a minute, had plenty of time and went with his legs. And anyone who knows football knows that can make the difference. And it made the difference last night for the Patriots, and why for most of the evening, Drake May was on the ground. And that makes a huge difference in a game. So I agree with that with him that it doesn't necessarily guarantee a Super Bowl win if Sam Darnold's here.
So when you look at the stats, this I think is very interesting for what football has been like this season for the teams that have excelled. Sam Darnold was 19 of 38 for 202 yards. He threw one touchdown. He was a master of setting up field goals. It was not a, wow, that quarterback really killed it type of performance. But that does seem to be, with the way that NFL teams have been constructed this year, it seems to be like, obviously it was good enough.
There are teams in the past. Not every team has a Tom Brady or a Joe Montana or a Patrick Mahomes. If you think about like when the Ravens won the Super Bowl, however many years ago that was, they had Trent Dilfer as a quarterback, but they had one of the best offenses, or best defenses rather, you'd seen in a long time. And so there is history that dictates you don't have to have an all-star quarterback.
But
to
most
win a
of them
Super Bowl.
are. Most of them are.
Well, when the top players often in every sport cancel each other out. So what does it
Yeah.
come down to? It comes down to your line and your kicker, exactly what the difference was last night.
It's true. That's true. It was boring as all hell, though, that first.
I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't boring. I mean,
you like defense?
Yeah, I actually found myself, I was the only one at the party, I think, watching the game pretty religiously. I was kind of like sitting in the corner watching the game and wanting to see the commercials. But
yeah,
it was a good game. It's fun to watch.
Do you think, turning to the Olympics now, and the medal count is we have 2 gold medals in the U.S., so not bad considering, where we're at here. Pretty early days. Do you think Lindsey Vonn, are you impressed by her fortitude in competing? Or do you think, maybe she was being selfish, taking a spot that someone younger, somebody else could have had?
No, I don't think she was being selfish. I think when you've done what she's done and her body of work speaks for itself, you are the most decorated skier ever in America. And she has every right to try to push through an injury. And until you have been in that situation where you have dedicated your entire life to something, Lindsey Vonn has dedicated her entire life to skiing since she was a child. And you get to that point, it is very, very hard to walk away. And people say, oh, just walk away. It's no big deal. This is everything that she's done. This is her identity. This is everything to her. It is hard it's impossible for you to truly understand what it means to walk away unless you've been in those shoes or boots. In this scenario. And so if she wants to try to ski on one a bad ACL or one leg or on her elbow, whatever. If she's out there and she wants to compete, she has every right and earned the right to compete. And anyone who says differently, I disagree with.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
She earned it. And in the Instagram post that she put up just this afternoon, she talked about she's going to need multiple surgeries to fix the tibia fracture that is complex. But she says, I have no regret. Standing in the starting gate yesterday was an incredible feeling that I will never forget.
Yep. I agree.
And this very simple statement, I tried, I dreamt, I jumped. I just think that is so powerful.
It's amazing that she has that perspective in that moment, I think, is what really impresses me. And it speaks to just how strong your mind has to be an Olympic competitor.
She has some very talented writers.
Probably so. But
it's still really good.
I mean,
I don't want to cheapen it, but I did just cheapen it.
To be an athlete at that level, you have to master the mind game too. And you do truly have to be able to shut out everything else, because you can't think about your leg. You can't think about if it's weak, because if you think about it, you're going to favor it, which means you're going to fall. And so you truly have to be able to compartmentalize everything and have a very strong mind to be able to do what she did.
I admire the hell out of her, to be honest. I think
do.
It's incredibly.
I wouldn't walk to the fridge on a torn ACL, let alone try to ski.
No. I wouldn't try to ski, period. I'm a straight up coward on that. Let's break. Timberwolves cannot get to the All-Star break soon enough. They have 2 more games, both at home. Should they even play them? We'll ask Dave Schwartz when we come back.
This is Drive Time with DeRUSH on News Talk 830 WCCO.
We listened all day. We followed the stories. We asked the questions. We're all over what's happening, so you don't have to be. Get caught up in 6 to 7 minutes on everything you need to know with 830 on the go. All the stories you may have missed in a snack-sized podcast. The fastest way to catch up without slowing down. Your secret to staying in the know is 830 on the go.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-948-7878. That's 800-948-7878.
Twin City Framers is the industry leader building the largest wood frame projects in town, and they have immediate openings for carpenters. Here's the deal. Large multifamily carpentry pays an average of $5 an hour more than single-family homes. This is your opportunity to work for the best of the business and make more money today. If you're a carpenter or know someone looking for better pay, better hours, great benefits, and on-the-job training, then look no further. Go online to TwinCityFramers.com and apply for an immediate position today. That's TwinCityFramers.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along. Which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples prints custom labels for 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Hi, I'm Dr. Mary Claire Haver, a board-certified OBGYN and menopause specialist. My new podcast, Unpaused, is the place for bold, unfiltered conversations about what it really takes for women to thrive in the second half of life. Every week, I sit down with medical experts, cultural icons, and powerhouse women to talk about what really matters. New episodes drop every Tuesday. Listen to and follow Unpaused with me, Dr. Mary Claire Haver, available now wherever you get your podcasts.
Time to find out how it's moving on the roads and what's moving in via the skies. This is traffic and weather together on CCO, starting with a check of the commute.
Brought to you by Whole Foods Market. Got some slowing, traveling south 694 as we move past County Road 14, heading down to 15th Street over on that east side of the metro. And 494 is looking good right now as we move the eastbound run between 35E and Highway 61. 100 looking good both directions between 394 and 494. Shop best of season produce at Whole Foods Market. Get Sumu citrus for $3.49 per pound with Prime through February 10th. Brighten your winter with sweet, juicy citrus, perfect for snacking or salads. While supplies last, shop in store online. Terms apply. Jerry Peterson, News Talk 830 WCCO.
Washburn-McCreevy Funeral Chapels and Cremation Services has been providing compassionate and personalized service for over 160 years. Honor your loved one and ensure your own wishes are met. Call 612-377-2203 or visit washburnmccreevy.com.
Now, the latest conditions and the outlook for the next few days with your CCO forecast.
All right, forecast brought to you by Washburn McCreevy Funeral, Cremation, and Pre-Planning Service. Tonight, 28 is the low. Tomorrow, 35. It'll be breezy, though, 10 to 15 mile an hour wind. Wednesday, the best day of the week, 36 is the high. We did hit 40, Dan Cook told me. Is that true? Maybe. Oh, you were talking about downloads for the Dave Schwartz segment. We're up to 40, Dave. We're getting there. Right now, it's 36 on CC.
You're listening to Drive Time with DeRUSH, video streaming live on YouTube and always, and I mean always, on your radio at News Talk 830 WCCO.
I got a cute face, chubby waist, thick legs in shape, rump shaking both ways, make you do a double take.
All right, so Bad Bunny was the hot topic at the Minneapolis Club when I was over at the Minneapolis Club earlier today. Did a workout.
Look out.
Because watching Bad Bunny, honestly, like my wife got great inspiration from seeing Jennifer Lopez in concert, and that inspired her to begin a new fitness routine that has paid dividends for me for years now. So I was inspired by Bad Bunny, so I hit the gym. I'm like, I need some of the Bad Bunny moves. Did you like the Bad Bunny show?
What exercises, by the way, give you the Bad Bunny moves in the gym?
Moves. There's a lot of there's some hip flexor type rotation.
I thought it was a good show. I'm 46. I am not Bad Bunny's demo in the least bit, but I knew none of the songs. But I thought it was. I thought from a perspective of it being a great production, it was really interesting. I mean, there were different sets and different things going on and happening.
Amazing.
It's very entertaining.
Yes.
Which most people didn't agree with me about. Well, some people did. Some people didn't.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Who cares?
Imagine,
right? It's mostly not for the people who are crabby about it.
I never would think. I don't want to get myself in trouble. I just can't imagine getting so upset about a halftime show. I just can't.
Do you think people are really that upset?
That outrageous.
Are they really that upset, or is it just a performance for social media?
Well, that's probably also true.
Who knows? Timberwolves. Speaking of performances, we have not seen them the last two games. There was some hope that since they had settled, like we knew what the trade was going to be. We knew Mike Conley was coming back. Mm-hmm. We knew that Nas and Jaden were going to be around. Well, Jaden, I guess we're supposed to be glad we kept him. Is this just like a funk? It's a long season. You have a couple funks. Or is this indicative of a bigger problem with this team?
It always, to me, is a bigger problem when you see teams that just can't hang on to a lead or just can't, just squandering it, they're in the game and then it's completely gone. And to me, that's a big issue because you're not getting all four quarters. You're not getting everybody in the same time. And I think that becomes a bigger issue because not a lot has changed with the team. It's pretty much the same players, except maybe Mike Conley, who, by the way, how would you like to be him? He got passed around, then now we'll take you back. Yeah. But it just kind of surprises me that and worries me a little bit that this is happening the way it is. It doesn't. I'm not ready to wave the white flag yet, but it is troublesome.
Yeah. Yeah, and the Wolves last year had sort of a pre-All-Star game kind of funk, and then they came out and were the hottest team in the NBA after the All-Star game. I hope that's possible, but I don't know.
When you have the inconsistency, like yes, you have that over the course of a season, right? I mean, it's a long season, and everyone knows these guys know exactly how hard they have to play to do what they need to do. But I think it's troublesome to me when you see different problems, when you see inconsistency in play at this point in the year. And luckily they have the break. Maybe everyone kind of relaxes and gets back up to speed a little bit, and then it's just nothing but a blip. But you don't know. It's hard to predict.
Olympic hockey. How are you feeling about the pool? Obviously, so many Minnesotans, so many Minnesota Wild players. We had a lot of people taking part in this. What do you think?
I'm excited. Olympic hockey is always fantastic. Other than maybe Olympic curling, it is my favorite Olympic sport. The women have been outstanding as they are. I would not be surprised to see them playing for a gold medal again. And I think U.S.-Canada is going to be a really great matchup on the men's side, depending on if they end up facing in the championship game. But it's going to. I think both sides are kind of dominated by U.S. and Canada, especially since Russia is not in the Olympic Games this year. So, but they'll be great matchups. And if the Four Nations Cup taught us anything last year, it's that at least on the NHL side and definitely on the women's side, but on the NHL side, it means a lot to these players.
Yeah, that Four Nations thing was so fun.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and I didn't expect to like that as much as I did. It was phenomenal.
My son was very disappointed when he found out they can't fight in the Olympics like they did in the Four Nations Cup.
It's too bad.
Yeah.
We need more fighting. I think if you ask anybody, that's what they'll tell you.
That's what we need in this world, right?
That's right. Dave, thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, see ya.
There he goes, Dave Schwartz, with us every Monday. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. YouTube, we got the videos for you of all your favorite segments, and check out our Pizza Talk on the podcast.
Jordana here, inviting WCCO listeners to join me on an adventure to the